Hello and welcome back to the finishing touch. Here in Roll the Bones, we are joined with our usual suspects, Dom and Rob. And I get to ask our intrepid players, which is, I know you say it all the time, our intrepid players, Rob, but I'm stealing it for a moment. Our intrepid players, what happened last time on the finishing touch?
You owe me £204 every time you use it. I have actually taken the trouble of licensing the phrase. So, intrepid players is actually mine.
Specifically on this.
Check, or can I just do like a backs transfer or something?
We can work out
Cash.
in a professional manner and not online in front of an audience.
Of course.
Yeah, so...
My people will talk to your people.
Please, but you did ask a question, so I suppose we should answer it. So, what happened previously? Well, we had a very refreshing and heartening breakfast of pork chops.
You did.
At least it was chops. We didn't work out if it was pork. But, Bracken and...
chops.
Yeah, vegan chops. Bracken and Conrad journeyed to... up the partition after resting at his parents' house, from which he has been erased from the paintings and the like. And we investigated a tower that had been that was under the vast magical protection. Really, really powerful protective spells were all around the top of the tower like a dome.
Yes, so we knocked on the door. I can't remember if we actually did knock, but we went inside anyway, and we discovered it was protected from underneath as well, so we had to stand for a moment as somebody checked us out, and then they opened a little doorway and came out to speak to us. I can't remember if they spoke to us outside or if they invited us up, but we did discover that they were indeed members of the Synod, as we suspected. The Synod being the organisation from which Bracken had previously fled and stolen a powerful magical artifact from.
Yeah, we didn't just rock up. I'm pretty sure we just went up the stairs because they were like, like, who are you? And it was like all this magical power, and yeah, we walked through the door. But oh no, I think he might have opened it to let us through. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Either way,
I think
I think
he did.
he let us through. Yeah. Yes, Bracken does have a background with the Synod, who are a wizard faction from the Dominion. The great power to the eastern portion of Main Realm. And yeah, there was a guy who was the diviner, Velbar Hast, the lead diviner of the Synod. So he's the top one. And he asked us what we were doing up there, and he even gave Bracken a scan, because he was like, I feel like I recognise you, or like know you from somewhere.
Yes.
I don't know why, which we'll cover another time. But he didn't know why he thought he recognised Bracken, but he couldn't quite place him, and Bracken was like, I'd only heard of the man, really, and only had like peripheral dealings with him. And we learned that he was after an entity, or the Synod were after an entity called Astroflux, which is a great power that ravaged many worlds within a great cataclysmic war that occurred.
Essentially a demigod of magic, is that right?
Yeah.
It alluded to Astra Flux being essentially pure magic.
Yeah, it's like an entity of
100%,
pure
yes.
magic, yeah. And they're after him because he's got loose. And it's
The reason he got loose
yeah.
was because Bracken accidentally released him using the powerful magical object that he stole from the Synod, which is, of course, the
The Liberoctis.
Libero. That's the one.
The very powerful spell book that Bracken has that holds many secrets and many powers. That was the thing that Astroflux required to be released, and this was back in another campaign, and he did get released, and he then vanished, leaving the Free Company, that was Bracken and Conrad, Rust, and Rufus, having to escape like a collapsing rift, not only in underground but like in a canyon thing. Very epic. Anyway, cut back to modern day, and we gave nothing away. We were like, oh, that's really interesting.
This is the first time we're hearing of this.
This is definitely the first time we're hearing about Astroflux. We don't know anything about that. The thing is, actually, we didn't say either way, which I think we were quite careful about, because we didn't say either way. So we couldn't be asked to be checked or scanned or anything, because we literally didn't say. Effectively, we both gave him a bit of a chewing out, to be honest, because it was like, you have all this power that's at this place that is currently being besieged by like demons and being converged upon by another world, and yet you're focusing your efforts on hunting down this fugitive when like lives are being taken like on a dramatic scale.
Directly in front of them as well. It's not just like you're not able to just be like, oh, this bad thing's happening, but also this worst thing is happening over here. It's like it's right in front of you. You can spare a little magic, perhaps.
They're scum.
They're scum.
And it made me quite angry. And it made Conrad even more angry, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the old with great power must also come great responsibility.
He did it.
They were, they said the words, and they were flaunting their power and shirking their responsibilities.
Shirking, great term for it. Yes, shirking. They were definitely shirking.
Bracken kicked them out.
Yes.
Essentially.
Well, he first voiced them, which was quite pleasing. Bracken got to say, listen, I'm the first voice of the leading representative Highkeep, which, to our knowledge, you are at this moment in time, so that was quite cool. And it kind of showed like the divide between how the old way of how things are done and how the Dominion does things, which is with only their own council and only their own hubris and only their own power and isolationist, and there's a reason they're called the Dominion. And then we ousted them, and they said, well, we're at least can we at least stay until our spells wear off, or at least till the end of this day. And we were like, rather than push the point, we were like, alright, fine, but you better keep your eye out at least. And then we wandered off on our own up to High Keep itself, the Great Keep itself. Yes.
Yes, you ventured up to the keep proper, and do you remember what greeted you?
There were some guards, right?
Yes.
But they didn't look all there. No. They were strung up like puppets, except they didn't have any strings that we could see. And they were quickly joined, I believe, by the Grey Jester.
The Grey Jester, yes.
We are given to understand is a particular monster, which is also called a Grey Jester.
Yes.
It is. Surprise.
Yes. Which turned out to be 3 Grey Jesters, I think, in the end. Was it 3? Was it 5? Crikey.
5.
My God. Which we later discovered were not real creatures, but you're going to have to say it for me.
Simulacrums.
That's the word. Simulacrum.
Clones, essentially.
Indeed. So we had to fight the guards while trying not to absolutely devastate the bodies, while not falling prey to the quite powerful fey creatures that were also costing us.
Yes.
We saved all the guards, right? We didn't lethal any of them, right?
No.
You did. When you defeated the last of the Grey Jester's copies, shall we say, you noticed that it was as if the strings were then cut and the guards dropped, as if the immediate control over the four of them had gone.
Control of them, but does that mean they were then just dead?
No, you remember they weren't very much like the people in Liberty,
Yeah.
who you suspected on the climb up to High Keep. This was the lingering loose end, shall we say. And when you let them go, although they were unresponsive physically, they were still breathing. There was just nothing behind the eyes. There was no movement beyond their body keeping them alive, basically.
Gotcha. Well, we did do our best to make sure that we kept them. Well, hopefully we'll see. Maybe they could be helped. But anyway, after the battle, because it was a pretty intense battle, Bracken, I think, used one of his spells to throw open the door. Oh no, he made the prismatic eye shoot at the door. He ordered it to open fire at the door, and it blew the door away, and there behind it was like a pathway to another world. And there was a big, colossal, more than colossal, giant, massive tree. And it was with that we entered this new domain, learning peripherally that it's linked to the Feywild, but maybe like a copy of it, perhaps. We don't know. And then we stepped inside, and that was that.
And that's where I will jump in. So the one thing about this giant tree in the distance, I will say, it was severed. It looked as if it had been cut at some point across the trunk, and it was as if it had been cut down, shall we say. But it gave the impression that it should have been going on for much higher, much taller. But just to sort of recap what you saw, when you passed through the entrance to the keep, you were not greeted, Conrad, in your case, with the familiar grounds of the Levaliance, of the keep proper, but of instead a dark purple sky and a towering tree, and one with a decayed rest-off top to the trunk. As you had stepped through, behind you, you could see the entrance being a portal, revealing and exposing the truth of where you are, and a faint maniacal laugh being heard in the distance. I will give you both, if you wish, acknowledge the planes, or you could argue a similar check before we carry on.
I think you made us roll one last time, just to be honest, but if you want a fresh one, that's fine.
No, you're right, I did. Well, yeah, so just to let you know then, that this feels like a demi-plane. It may have one point been the Feywild, but whatever abyssal corruption has happened has almost pulled it away and created its own solo bubble. It's no longer a part of the Feywild, as it should be, but its own standalone corruption.
Oh dear. Like a scab over a wound.
Pretty much. But as you move forward, the first step you take, it seems to distort the world around you, pulling the land from under your feet as if a part of you is trying to recognize where you should be, but actually where you are. The second step, and that colossal tree just rapidly approaches you, just rushing into your vision, escalating in size in a matter of seconds. Your third step, with a dizzying realization, you find your feet are planted inside a room.
Oh!
You find yourself standing in the heart of the keep proper. Behind you, you can make out what was once the courtyard, now a blight. It also seems that someone has taken to redecorating. You don't remember the statues being so macabre on your way in, Conrad. You were pretty certain it was not a fountain of blood before. And I should probably point out the couple of obvious components. You very much remember, Conrad, the body of Dakari, the giant lion that was always a presence in this hall. Still standing vigil at this point. And it looks like the land itself has had this corrupted Feywild splinter through the floorboards. Bracken, I would like you to make a spellcraft check, please, because you feel something a bit sickly.
Spellcraft, okay, gladly. First roll of the night. For me. Let's go. Naturally, it's a skill, so I don't roll higher than a 5.
Of course.
That is still 34.
It is enough. You recognise the world itself here has some weird properties, and you can feel in front of you where these purple sort of tentacles are ripping up through the earth. There is a weird, almost anti-magic property directly next to them. Not so far that it affects you now, but there is something close to it. But filling the air, there does feel like a weight. And you recognise the signs of a dimensional anchor within the air itself.
That's annoying. Bracken will turn to Conrad and say there is a dimensional anchor cast upon this world, at least to this local area. No teleporting. Or jumping of any kind.
Not even your favourite translocation.
I don't think that could work. I don't know. I think that counts, so probably not.
Well, good to know before you try and do it, I suppose.
Yeah. But it appears to be a spell of some kind. Now, with that spellcraft check, Michael, even though you rolled a 2, it's still 34. Can I tell if that's just like an innate effect of this corrupted world, or is this a spell that's been cast by an individual?
It seems like an innate part to where you are.
Right.
It doesn't seem to have a source, shall we say. It doesn't feel like someone's cast it. It just feels like it's currently a part of where you are.
Yeah, it's innately part of the world, Conrad, but there's nothing we can do now. We're through. Perhaps there'll be a way of unmaking it.
Well, hopefully. I think anyone in Highkeep would like to continue having this blight in the very heart of the keep. Regardless of teleportation magic or no. Shall we see what else is here?
Yes, I defer to you, Conrad. I know it's been a while, but maybe parts of this place at least may look familiar to you. So let's do what you bid.
Does it seem pretty much familiar, Mike, except for the additions of mushrooms and plants and tentacles and what.
It does, yeah. Give me a check with half your level just to see if you can roughly recount, just in case the last time you came here was very young. Oh, 22's fine. Apart from, the floor being ripped up by plants and this weird energy and whatever's going on outside, you remember the main sort of social hub, the dining hall, and that's where there's a large audience table and also a stage as well for those who are deciding to orate, perform, and what have you. That would be, if you can see, that would be over here in this direction.
Off to the right.
Yeah. The north, or like straight ahead of you, behind Dakari, would be to maybe where the servants would be, or the bathrooms. You don't fully remember. And then to the left would be where you have stayed before, and that would be some of the guest chambers.
Very well. Well, if there was an audience happening or any sort of event when this light came down, everyone would probably be in the dining hall. So, should we try that first?
Yeah, lead the way. Let's go.
So Conrad heads over to the right-hand side of the room and attempts to open the door, which is locked.
Oh no!
How could you? Conrad rattles it a little bit.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to budge.
What sort of door is it?
It is a heavy, fine oak. It has been engraved by master carpenters. It has been inherently made by the Long family, who has done all of the doors in Highkeep with the finest of oaks and pines. It is sturdy, it is tall, it has got nice grooves in it, it's got some filigree, it's just a very heavy set oak door that appears to be locked.
Could smash it.
We could.
Perhaps not.
Well,
For now.
yeah, that's an option. You know, we can come back.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to cause more permanent damage than already.
Okay, where next?
And it is a nice door.
It is.
What did you say was off to the left? The guest quarters.
The guest quarters, where noticeable guests would have stayed, or VIPs. You may have stayed there at some point. I mean, maybe.
Well.
Oh, this is a corridor. I didn't realise that.
It is a corridor. That's locked as well. Are all these doors locked, Mike?
That one appears to be locked.
They're all locked, you bastard.
You notice, yes, there's a lot of locked doors, but you also see where there should be doors. The plant life has ripped through and shattered some walls and some access.
Well, carefully, I guess we can make our way over the broken floor. Let's see what's in this one.
Yeah, can you give me a reflex save, please?
Yes, I'm also going to use my duck defense for this. 42.
As you step into sort of the heart of the plant area, you notice there's like a clear oil slick that seems to be over some of the rocks, the floor. It's relatively transparent, but with a chromatic pearlescent sheen to it when the light catches. Bracken, that's sort of what you think your spellcraft check might have been alluding to when you were sensing that sort of anti-magic properties. As Conrad, you feel going near it, a lot of what you're wearing starts to get suppressed briefly. A lot of your magic items, just for a moment when you're passing through it, seem to go completely nullified. But stepping away from it, and to avoid touching it as well, you feel as you step out of it, your magic and your inherent sort of properties on your armor and your weapon come back.
So that wasn't me touching it, was it? Presumably, the
just proximity
reflex was to avoid touching it.
It was to avoid touching it.
Right. I see. There's a person in here.
There is.
I'll walk around there. No, I can't. There's something in the way.
Did Conrad relay that to Bracken? It's okay if not, just so I'm aware.
I think he would have pointed out that there's an oily sheen, because if he actively avoided it, he would.
You definitely would have noticed that going near it, you felt weaker. Like, all the effects haven't gone; they were just suppressed when.
So it's not just a dimensional anchor, then; it's full-on anti-magic.
In some places, but the anti-magic hasn't spread fully. It seems to be very focused in these certain areas.
Well, Bracken has moved down there and he spots something there. Is that the figure that you're alluding to?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, Conrad, for where you were, I'm not going to ask for you to make another roll. You were fine just doing that.
Skirted around the barrier.
You do, yeah. You see somebody in front of you. Bracken, are you staying? Just keeping an eye.
Well, I can't cross that without. I suppose, I can if I want to, but I mean, is it worth going over there? Is there another? Does that continue, Conrad?
There's nothing else particularly in here except the. This. Is it a woman?
It is. Let me just. Give me a level check, half your level. See if you recognise who this person is.
18.
Okay, I had 15, so this is somebody you do recognise, but maybe you've only seen them once or twice. This is Lady Quen, the current presiding ruler of House Leorban. You remember House Leorban being one of the regions on the right of Lorvelis. And her chair is just slothfully wheeling forward and back, her head falling with the motion of her chair. As she falls back, the head just falls back. And as she moves forward, the head just drops forward.
She's in a rocking chair.
She's in a rocking chair then. Right.
Conrad will take a step forward and grab the arms of the rocking chair to cease the motion and say, Lady Quen, are you in there?
You stop the rock and there is no motion. You can both give me a spot check.
Then why was she rocking, Michael?
Stop the rock. Can't stop the rock. You can't stop the rock.
22.
A spot.
Mm-hmm.
20. Dirty 20.
Conrad, you notice that under kind of her hands, where there's sort of like a blanket where she has been, you can see the outline of a book.
I will gently try and ease the book from the blanket, taking particular care not to disturb her or the blanket too much. So very gently take it.
You do. You're able to lift her hand up, and as you kind of, similar to the guards outside, as you pick up her hand, I mean, she's not deceased. There was still some warmth. But, yeah, nothing.
Is there anything else in the room that's interesting?
Give me a search check.
Oh, yeah, good search. 20.
Well, apart from, you think, travelling clothes. I mean, it's hard to say because half the room has been absolutely shattered. There looks like whatever, like travelling clothes there may have been. There's some clothes you can see in the cupboard that look like riding clothes, maybe, compared to what Lady Gwen's currently wearing, which seems more formal. There is... So you can spot about 6 gold pieces. They've just been scattered around on the floor.
I'll leave those.
But beyond that, no.
Yeah, Conrad will take a cushion from the nearby chair and sort of try and rest Lady Gwen's head in a comfortable manner. And then we shall leave her, I think. Leave her in peace. We'll just try and hop round the door. And then he'll show Bracken the book that he just picked up.
Ooh.
She was holding this, Bracken.
What does
May
it...
not be of interest.
What does it look like, Michael?
Opening up, you realise this is Lady Gwen's diary. There is a lot of entries that it reads as somebody who's maybe inexperienced in what they're doing, perhaps just in age, and just someone who's maybe not been in a position that they've been in for a while. You know, you flick through and there's a lot of indecisions and concerns, but some of the interesting entries come to the back. One in particular. The Valiance in action now appears to make some sense, but raises even more questions. Some chronic melancholy to the point of paralysis seems to have struck in the keep. Bar the Lord's new fool, all seem to be in despair. I will leave tomorrow. I believe Belladon's clerics may have a better idea as to the nature of this plague. There's another one that's not dated, but kind of rushed in underneath. The clown made me laugh today. But now, when trying to remember what he did, I start crying. There's another one, there's a whole gap, and then there's just a line 2 pages later. It struck me, but I don't remember when I was last out of my room. And then afterwards, you just see squiggles. Another page, there's a really bad doodle. One that looks like a stick figure with a sword. One that then looks like a really bad version of Hangman. And then just random lines until it's just inane drawings that make no sense.
Mm.
So it definitely was the Jester doing it.
Yes. It doesn't go unnoticed that it's the direct antithesis of what Jester is meant to do. Then again, there are a few jesters whose japes I've found amusing.
Well, perhaps we should avoid finding this one amusing as well.
Yes. We'll keep this. Bracken will look at the book like once over again. Is there anything to suggest that this book might be holding any kind of secret knowledge that perhaps a decipher script roll might uncover?
Okay, give me a roll then. Is that 3 decipher script rolls we've had?
I
in this
know.
game?
I'm trying to use it more, and I like it. I like
What a
that he
record.
pulls over books and stuff, so he gets a 30. It's a shame if there won't be anything. You have to make something up now, Michael.
It's absolutely fine. You recognise there is no... If there is a cipher in this, it's not one that you could figure out. It's, from what you can see, this is all very earnest. This seems to stem to someone who is maybe not the most experienced in power. And Conrad, with your earlier role, you know House Leorban is possibly one of the newest of all the presiding houses. Of all the regions in Levelis, Leorban is the most recent. You'd have to give me more checks to see if you fully remember why, but...
Was she quite
Give
young?
you knowledge, nobility, and royalty.
Sorry, Bracken?
I hate to interrupt. Just really quick question: was the lady young or old? She's a rocking chair.
Fairly
seat.
young.
Oh, okay, right.
We're not talking like white hair. We're talking somebody maybe in their 30s.
But you think of rocking chair, you immediately, I immediately assumed from that, oh, she
Yes.
must be an old lady.
Oh,
But
Frinder's
actually,
old
yeah,
lady.
exactly. But she's not. She's young. Okay, cool. Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. Yeah, if you want to give me a knowledge, nobility, whatever.
Royalty. It's the only knowledge skill I've got any ranks in.
Okay, I can give you some information. House Leorban is the newest leading house in Levelis. They came into power a few generations ago. And you know, not that long ago, maybe about 100 years, the previous leading house was called House Soch, but the Soches were found to be guilty of embezzlement and other charges and other criminal offences, and the Leorbans were part of the house that found this and sort of made actions to get the Soches removed. And then Soch was kind of stripped of all rank, and the Leorbans were elevated to the position of ruling and presiding house of Leorban. Well, sorry, of blah blah blah.
As we walk back down the corridor, I think Conrad probably explains this in a sort of gossipy fashion. Sort of very recently raised the Leorban's poor Lady Quen thrust into a position of great responsibility without much experience in the family. You see the old, and then explains the. I won't do the whole thing you've just said again, but
Absolutely.
very much a courtly gossip manner to the.
It is, yes. The Soch and the Leorbans has been gossip for a very long time.
And what was the results, House Soch? Were they all put to death? Were they exiled?
Defrocked, I believe, but not any further punishment beyond having their.
Alright, so they still exist as a house then?
Well, they're probably not technically a house anymore, just a family.
Just a family, indeed. You would know that the immediate perpetrators would have been held to account and probably arrested. And then the remaining
But
family
if they're
members...
embezzling, it'd be money issues anyway.
Exactly. But this was about 100 years ago. The people doing the embezzling are long gone, you'd think.
But the name remains, and so does, I assume, so does the injury.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The bloody Soches, they called them.
The bloody Soches!
Not for any bloodthirst on their part, just
God, bloody
they were always
Soches.
petitioning to get their lands and deeds back.
That sounds very upsetting.
Yes. Bloody Soch.
Bloody
Says
Soches.
Conrad, isn't he? Not
Bloody
because of anything
Soches.
he's had to experience, it's just probably something that
They're the
they
worst.
say in haiku.
Yeah, I love that. It's become
Just-
a saying over the 100 years that it's happened. It's become a thing. I love that.
Bloody Soches.
Bloody Soches. Right, let's try this door. Oh, wow, you try whichever door you want. You know where you're going.
I don't actually know this bit of the thing so well, do I? I'll skirt the edge of this.
Looks like, yeah, Well, saves us having to go around. Yep.
There we go. We found a door.
Hey, okay.
You
Right.
found a door.
Very north.
Ooh.
Oh, this looks like a privy.
It is a privy.
I didn't shut.
Oh.
Ah! There's someone in here.
Oh,
get
sorry to disturb.
My privy information. Hang on.
My privy information.
What information are you privy to?
Well, you notice there is an individual slumped against us. He's got a very elegant-looking rapier on his belt, but he appears to be slumped against a small table with a decorative dragon on it.
Hey, hey!
He's
There's also
unresponsive.
a more colourful character, I believe, around the corner.
There
The
is
shrubbery, the traditional privy shrubbery.
a traditional privy shrubbery.
He's making a statement with this bathroom.
Yeah.
That he is. You can give me checks to see if you recognise who any of these people are.
Oh, I'd love to.
Bracken's going to make use of the facilities. It's been a while.
We never really cover this, but
No.
it must have been
Has
a
to
very
happen.
long time.
Has to happen, so, yeah.
I think they're sinks, though, aren't they?
Those are sinks.
Oh,
Bracken is good.
no! Listen, it's got a pipe at the end of it. That's where I go, okay?
That'll do.
I rolled a 26 anyway on my half-level check.
Yes. The individual behind you is August Horth. The Horths of Espar are renowned swordsmen, and you know that they train the finest fighters of swordsmen in the land, at least as far as the army goes. Maybe not individually. And you can see there is one unfortunate soul in front of you in the shrubbery, and his is Brannon Lassett, who I just need to get from where Lassett is from. He is from House Guiot. Unfortunately, it looks like he is slowly being digested. You can see upon him that oily-looking, clear, pearlescent grease, and it's almost looking like it's eating away at his skin, at his body, and yeah, Lassett does not look in a good way.
Can I use... Has he got anything that I can tie a rope around to try and get him out of the greenery? Oh, it's not green. Don't want to touch him, but I could loop a noose around a foot or something.
I mean, do you have rope?
I do have hempen rope.
Oh, then, I mean, yeah, you can see he's got, like, appendages sticking out. You could use rope and...
Yeah, I'll try and pull him free if that's an option. Do you want to check or something?
So, yeah, you use rope, sorry.
I don't suppose you've got use rope, have you, Bracken?
I would argue, actually, that you use rope all the time. It's just that your rope is made of steel.
Yeah.
So I think that I would argue that whatever you have in use rope would be the same as your fighting ability. That would be my... You literally use tricks with that chain all the time. Like, there has to be some benefit to that.
Okay, add. You can add your base attack bonus, which I think is your level anyway. So
It is. That's very extravagant. 32.
yes, what is it like as you flourish Lasset away from the shrubbery?
I think it's a simple matter of looping the rope around his ankle and just sort of dangling it in such a way to hook the ankle, and then it's in a slip knot, so it tightens when I pull it, and then using that I can pull him free without actually touching any of the oily mess.
Yeah. He is pulled off the privy, and the plants onto the safety of the wooden floor.
Oh, good. Well done, Conrad.
Are the basins full of water?
Not anymore.
Not the privy basins, the sink.
Again, not anymore. Bracken's been busy in some of them.
Oh, I see.
It's weird, actually. It looks like where there should be water in one of the basins, actually there's blood. A lot of it.
I was going to try and clean the poor man, or at least rinse him off, but perhaps that's more than can be expected in this situation.
We can try. Bracken's going to fill up a water canteen. We camp everywhere. We must have like a water canteen. Like he's going to fill it with water and just splash it on the man. See if that does anything.
You splash Lasset, and it doesn't seem to shift the grease. I mean, you notice a lot of the general dirt you can just drench off him, but that pearlescent clear grease doesn't budge.
I think we're going to have to remove the larger problem to help people in this state, Conrad.
Yeah. Well, let's at least put him further away from the plant life.
Yes.
Drag him to the far side of the room, taking care not to touch anything oily.
Yes.
This other guy's just standing there, right? He's not doing anything.
He's slumped against like a table.
And that little dragon that's on the table, what does that have any
What does that do?
purpose?
It is a gold dragon. It is a nice statuette, except this one seems to have glowing red eyes.
Hey! Bracken's gonna reach out a hand at the glowing dragon and cast Detect Magic.
There is an element of like a scrying happening with this. Someone's used like a remote viewing, as if
In the toilet?
That's so grim.
as if they're looking through the eyes of
They
the statue.
got cameras in the toilet in IKEA.
Is it pointed away from the actual toilets, at least?
It seems to be looking directly at the two of you.
Has it moved?
The head seems to have, like the bulk of the statue just seems to be facing flat, but the head seems to be a little bit more focused towards you. You remember growing up with the posters where the eyes would follow you around the room?
Grim.
I had one of Pierce Brosnan, GoldenEye, and that gun followed me around my room constantly, wherever I was. That's what it's like. It just seems to be following you. It always seems to be looking at you.
There appears to be some form of scrying magic upon that dragon. Something is keeping a close eye on these privies. And now us.
Well, too late to hide ourselves from it, I suppose.
Yes, I mean, we can
This
safely
door's also
assume...
locked.
Oh. Well, that... God knows where that goes. What's that? What do we see out of that window? So I'm going to share this space with you, Dom. Oh.
I put my arm around you.
Outside the window looks like, instead of grass, there's something dark blue and charred. There is the stone precipice. That has remained the same. Looking out, it appears that you're not currently anywhere near a giant tree. This, apart from the burnt grass, by the looks of it, is the geography of the High Keep proper. This is the top, and there is the small last bit of the partisan just behind the High Keep, that little final tip. But behind here would be dropping off into the back. And yeah, it's as if you can't see that colossal broken tree from here.
Does this man have anything on him?
Give me a search check.
17.
I will search the other guy as well.
Be careful.
Okay.
Oh. $35.
You should be searching these.
Yeah, I'll search both of them.
With such a high roll, I'm not going to ask you for a reflex save to avoid touching the slime. That's a very good search roll. So you avoid that greasy, slimy stuff. You don't find anything on Lasset, but on August Horth, it seems his hand underneath the dragon statue is holding a scrap of something.
A scrap of something. Well, what does it say?
It's like parchment from an easel. It's completely blank, but it's as if like a plain white easel, that sort of pre-textured material you would then paint onto. It's as if some of that's just been ripped off and is in his hand.
Does it look like his hand's covered in that grease?
No.
Bracken slaps it out of his hand like a kid in school.
He relinquishes the scrap, shall we say.
Bracken swipes it from the floor and looks at it keenly.
I mean, there is nothing on it, but there is... Are you still detecting magic? I can't remember if that's a long-going thing.
Yeah, it is a long... Of course it's a long-going thing, you know well. Let me see how long, though. Detect magic. Yeah, so I'm concentrating on it, of course. So up to 1 minute per level.
20 minutes, yeah, you're fine then. If this magic is similar to the Black Scroll of Arm fragment you found.
Oh no!
In that it feels like it's a part of an unfinished spell. There's some illusion magic onto it and some conjuration magic, but it seems like it's a jigsaw piece. It's not a complete spell.
This is a scrap of a much larger work. Maybe we'll find the rest elsewhere. But I think we've lingered too long in this privy.
Yeah, agreed. Let's try the final door. Also locked.
It is locked.
Right, time to start kicking, I think.
Which
So give me a
door
spot
can I
check.
kick? Oh shit, the lion's moved.
Oh, the lion's moved!
I don't need to ask for a spot check because you have spotted. The lion, Dakari, is facing you. It is intently watching you. As it has been the entire time. I did ask Bracken for a spot check earlier, but unfortunately you didn't notice. But it has its eyes upon you, and then its mouth opens as if going for a roar, as it breathes deep, and then lets out a long, cackling laugh. Not a laugh that seems. This lion's maw is wide open, and there is this this wheezy, desperate laugh that's coming from this lion. And then, in a horrifying sight, flesh just seems to melt off it. Its mane starts to demolt. Its tail drops to the floor. And then emerging from this body of a lion, you see a foul metallic structure. Horrible, as if something from the abyss has made this skeleton as it stands up, taking full shape of this humanoid, abyssal, awful-looking mechanical structure. It forms in its hands as its final reveal, a long, giant blade. As this creature stands before you, and I ask you both to roll initiative.
Yeah! Oh my god. That's a problem.
7.
7?
Yes, very poor.
Oh.
Very, very poor. Oh yeah, I just wanted to double check my initiative, but it is the same. Wow! 19 on the die, that's 27.
Blimmin' heck.
Wow.
Wow. Well, in that case, Bracken, you lead the initiative. What do you do?
I'm guessing, looking at it, it looks like it's made of metal. That Bracken's mind sets off the thought of this is probably a construct. Can I do a roll to confirm that?
This would fall into a knowledge dungeoneering roll.
Hey,
However, I would also... Oh, cool. I would also accept knowledge the planes because there is a slight variation which I can accept.
Knowledge of planes is better, so I will roll knowledge of planes. 29.
29. This is a golem, as you've probably suspected. But
Okay.
this looks like, for all intents and purposes, all the properties of mithril, except corrupted by the abyss. Instead of that bright silver sheen, it's dark and almost like refracting that light inwards to it. It looks... And maybe at one point it was a bright mithril golem, and now it is something of the abyss.
Oh, wow. Okay. Because an initiative has been rolled, the traditional contingency spell blooms into fruition as haste is triggered. So we have haste. Oh man. Okay, Bracken lets fly a scroll from his hand, as he will take a 5-foot step into cover here, which I will do now. I will move my character back in so I can see for the purposes of the stream, but for the purposes
Just
of this,
remind me, yes.
yeah, I'm on that square there. Okay, and as he does, a scroll is thrown into his hand. One of the quick releases that he has in his sleeves, and suddenly summoning magic begins to bloom out of nowhere as Bracken reads written across the page an immortal question. Did I summon Monster 9?
Did I summon Monster 9? Ooh. Well, we will discover next round.
Yeah, I'm going to look. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to ask you to bring in, but like for the time being, we can do that next round because you will obviously have to get something to represent it. So
That's absolutely fine.
We will come back to me. That's Bracken's turn as he's in that cover there.
Excellent. So yes, I see you, but I know you're not there. This creature, Conrad, it seems to move as if still forming like that animalistic chassis, and it then, where the mouth was and now just a gape, like as if the neck, there is no head. From this neck you see a maelstrom of just energy traveling, as I ask you to make a reflex save, please.
Very well. 31.
Oh, you take half damage, and I need you to roll a d6, please.
4.
4. Oh. It's almost as if the energy at the last second becomes like a white cracking electricity. And you take, unless you have evasion.
I do not. It's the only thing I don't
Yes.
get a benefit from.
Then you take 31 points of damage as a line of lightning crashes right by you and into the wall. As Bracken, you hear the sound of something erupting on the wall behind you. That was a standard action. It then moves towards you, Conrad.
Good.
It then takes another standard action.
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. What is your armor class as it slams you with its giant weapon?
Flat-footed, but with the one bonus from haste. 27.
That is a resounding hit from the creature as it just, in breakneck speed, unleashes this line of electricity, runs at you, and then slams into you for 35 points of damage as it hits you over the head. What's it like?
I think Conrad was so distracted with dodging the lightning bolt, like leaping back out of the way, that he just doesn't anticipate the speed of the thing rushing towards him and just bringing the thing down. The sword.
Absolutely.
Smacking him on the head, ringing his ears.
And yeah, you feel this isn't like how other things have maybe hit you before. There is a definite toughness to this, like this, whatever this metal or this thing is. But fortunately, it's your turn.
Well, that is fortunate. I anticipate that this will be a tough fight, so I'm going to take 5 off that and put it into stone power to recover some hit points. And then we shall hit it back, I think, with a ancient mountain hammer strike.
Let's go.
36 to hit.
It does not. It hits it, but it doesn't seem to get through the innate toughness of this material.
That is a high AC. I'm gonna take a 5-foot step as well. And that is it.
Very good.
Oh, actually, can I drop into a stance?
Yeah.
Cool. I will drop into roots of the mountain. Seems appropriate for where I am.
Yeah. Nice. So as you bolster your defences, we jump back to the top of the round. Bracken, what creature do you potentially summon?
Potentially summon. Interesting term of phrase. Bracken.
So I can find the token.
Oh, I see what I mean. Bracken, well, I'm trying to make it quite a simple one, so fingers crossed. Bracken holds out a hand as the scroll finally ebbs away, taking a round, of course, to cast fully. And then there is the obviously the shaking of the great construct, the golem, as it lurches towards Conrad, and then it's replaced by another shaking, a seismic shaking, as the ground begins to rumble beneath their very feet, and then exploding up from the middle of the battlefield, directly behind the construct, a monstrous, gargantuan scorpion explodes into view. Kaiju
There's me
style.
looking through all of my tokens I've imported, and I haven't got one, so let's use the fun assets.
There must be a scorpion somewhere.
In my assets, so...
Oh.
Bound to be.
Scorpion.
Visions of Sargoth from the Varillion campaign, massive scorpion with a
Gargantuan,
huge...
you said?
He's a gargantuan boy.
So that's one. So that's large, huge, gargantuan,
Jesus Christ.
and you should have control.
You're feeling control.
I'm going to give you a slight outline just to make it a bit easier to see, because it's...
Don't think I have control. I can't seem to select him unless that's me being...
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, no, I gave it to... I'm so sorry, I gave it to Conrad.
He looks very unwell.
Ha!
He's an unwell scorpion.
Yeah.
He was fine as he was. He's quite visible. He's a
fine
massive
now.
scorpion. There we go. That's better.
Yeah, he should be yours now.
I wanted the scorpion.
Yeah, explodes into view, and because it's right next to it, it is going to do a full round of attacks. So that is 2 claws. +2, eh? So of course, yes, he's flanking. So plus that is, wow, obviously nowhere near Conrad's striking, but still hefty. 28. It's not
No.
a hit. No. 30. That's a no.
No.
Dear. And then the tail whoom, 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 then stabs down.
Ricochets off.
That's the scorpion's turn. With my roll, because I'm pretty sure, and this is from my memory, and Bracken would know as well, having faced constructs previously, they are effectively immune to any spell subject to spell resistance, if I'm not mistaken. Does this look like this creature's rules apply?
The golems you've encountered in the past have been subject to that ruling, but something tells you this one seems stronger. This metal, this weird mithril.
Yeah, so it's just completely immune to it, I'm guessing.
Potentially.
It must
But you
be.
also know from golems in the past
It must be.
that some are susceptible to one or two specific spells.
Okay, what he is going to do, because that was obviously his spell taking fruition from last round, he's going to step around to this side, okay? See where he is? I'm going to move him out of the door there again. So he's around that side, and then as he moves past the doorway, he throws out an arm and will wrench up a vast portion of the marble floor using telekinesis. This great block of rock just hurtles high into the air before cometing down into the back of the creature. This does have the damage of this here. I just want to bring it up. I was too busy trying to find the scorpion stats properly to have this one prepared, so do bear with me. I can lift £25 per caster level. So what's £25 per... Oh, maximum £375 at 15 level. At 15th level. So
I'd say it's about a huge amount of marble.
Oh, so it's 1d6 1d6 per £25, but we've determined it's a max of 15. So that'll be 15d6 then, is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect, yeah. So first of all I've got to hit him though. Okay, so that's
I get like more rubble as you do this, which is good fun.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I've got to make the attack still against him, but thankfully it is using my... Damn, this is going to be a bit of a problem. I still got to hit him with that insane armor class. Well, we've already done it now. That is... plus 18. $32.
It's not, I'm afraid. It shatters on its back.
That's Bracken's turn.
It's, yeah, a lot of the scorpion's attacks just ricocheting and bouncing off this weird abyssal metal. And the creature... Oh, I need to have just checked. It has its headless gaze set upon you, Conrad, as it goes for a full round of attacks. Your armor class now is
28, sorry.
28. Slam 1 is a hit. Slam 2. That is a natural 20. Let's see
Okay,
if...
you don't have to look sorry. He can take it.
I know you can take it, but one of these days I'm going to go and like, I always panic. That is a critical, as this thing just hits you as these two slams from its full attack come down upon you. Can you roll me a D100, please?
Piss and poo.
Sure thing.
That's from somewhere across in the world.
76.
An effect is triggered. Ooh, I think you possibly got lucky on this one. Its first attack has just bashed you, and you use all your defenses here, and even then you take a fair brunt of it as it slams into you, but it wins you for the second attack as this slam comes in and you just get yourself into a defensible position, but as you do, its attack hits and connects with all of your fingers in your left hand as you take finger injuries.
Ooh!
Fingers.
Finger injuries indeed. You take 2 dexterity damage as essentially that you break the fingers in your left hand, and you also take the damage from the hits as they would be.
still is that still normal critical damage or a normal hit, Michael? I can't remember.
I think we've done it as a normal critical. I know extra modifiers, but you get the normal critical and, in this case, the 1d4 dex damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means... that is... 95 points of damage over the 2 hits.
Holy shit. So I have got damage reduction on, so that's something.
So that's 2 hits.
Yeah.
Peas and rice.
30 comes off into the damage pool, which leaves 61.
Whilst you're doing that, Bracken, what's the armor class of the giant scorpion?
The armor class of the giant scorpion is 24.
The creature, in a burst of extra speed, as a moment of alacrity, as it has an extra standard action slamming behind it, it deals damage to the giant scorpion as it connects right in the face of it for 33 points of damage. That is its turn. Conrad. With your broken hand. Fingers, fingers.
Is going to look at his sort of mangled hand and then use his other hand to wrap it around the chain, forcing the broken bones into a grip. And then I'm going to try a strike of righteous vitality.
+2.
+2.
You're flanking.
Oh yeah, +1 from something else as well, from Bracken.
Nice.
And I really need this to hit, so I'm taking anything off it. 46.
That is a hit.
Fucking enemy. That doesn't hit. In deep trouble. Is it a it's not a evil outsider, is it?
It's not an outsider, technically. It's a construct.
Fine.
Potentially an evil construct.
Oh, double snake eyes. 26 damage.
Mm-hmm.
However, as he hits the construct, it sort of cracks into the top of the thing where the energy came out, and a little bit of energy travels down the chain and flows through into Conrad's arms, and his fingers snap back into normal position, and the slight dent in his head from the first hit just bulges back into a normal shape as he heals 150 points.
Ouch.
Hit
But
points and recovers his dexterity damage as well.
very nice. Can I confirm as well, what is your chain made of?
It's made of masterwork metal.
Metal.
It's not adamantine. If
Okay.
that's what you're asking.
It might have been.
It is masterwork and magic.
You notice there are some resistances to your attack.
That's fine.
Had to double check. Excellent. As you your fingers snap back into position, Bracken.
Bracken's going to spend his turn. He rummages in his belongings and he pulls forth a very small mirror. And he looks in it and he focuses on it with all of his might, and there begins to be a build-up of many different colours of reds and greens and blues and yellows and purples, you name it, is there. And it begins to spin as he spends his round casting something that will become apparent later. but he remains behind the corner. He's keeping an eye on Conrad to make sure he's alive, but other than that, that's all he's doing that turn. Then the Scorpion is just going to continue doing its thing. It's just there. It's going to be a nuisance. It likely won't hit it very hard.
That's fine. It's still got +2, remember?
It does have +2, and I just remembered, I was like, oh, but haste, but I remembered it only appeared after haste was cast. So no, it doesn't have haste. That means first attack once again. 35.
No, I'm afraid not.
Okay. I need to, roll better. That'll be really good. I've not been rolling very good so far this session, so I could do with rolling better, if that's alright. Second claw. 39.
Oh, it is almost as if the Scorpion almost finds a gap. It is so close.
That's
it's
nuts.
almost as if it hits exact number.
That's nuts. Well, this one isn't going to hit. Then I don't think I can hit it. No.
Everyone wants a critical sometimes.
You can't critical golems.
Maybe each that critical still hits.
That's true. It does. The Scorpion smashes into it. He's making Summon Monster 9 look like a joke. This guy. But it's there. Hopefully, it provides a distraction in some way. That is Bracken's turn. His true action this round, however, will hopefully bear fruit next turn.
And you're still behind the wall, yeah?
Still behind the wall, on the square behind where he's standing currently, yes. But for the benefit of the stream, we can see what's going on. I'm there.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, it is the Golem's turn. And at this moment, it is going to do a little repetition on you, Conrad. It's going to attempt to slam you a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Your armor. 28. That's a thwack. That's a thwack. As 2 slams drop upon you. 4. 82 points of damage.
What? That's almost as much as a critical damage was.
It rolled very well.
You bastard. You're killing me.
And then its alacrity, so almost like steam shooting out from its joints as it gets a burst of extra speed. It slams an attack behind it into the giant scorpion, its armor class being 26, was it?
The Scorpion's armor class is 24.
24. That's a hit then, and 41 points of damage as it just spins around quickly as some mechanism just causes it to just rapidly spin on the spot, colliding with it.
Cool.
With that, Conrad.
Conrad will attempt a Greater Divine Surge this round. Again, I don't think there's much point risking not hitting, so I'm not going to take anything off.
Greater Divine Surge.
Greater Divine Surge, yeah. I can add Constitution damage to this.
Oh, yes.
I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think it'll have any. Yeah, I don't think it has a Constitution.
No, I take Constitution damage. Damage.
Oh, yes.
But that's sort of tit for tat that I can't afford in this fight, I don't think. Yeah, I'll take some off and put it on armor class. I won't do that for now. I'll just do great advantage. I miss.
It bounces off its armor class as it almost hits, but just isn't enough to get through that final bit. At least you know it's armor class now.
Yep.
Is that with the?
No, it's armor class.
That's with the flank bonus. And
no,
the
that's
haste.
not with the flank bonus or the haste. Actually, I neglected to do either of those. That should have been plus 39.
That is a hit.
Well remembered, thank you, Michael.
With these dizzying attack bonuses, it's hard to tell when there are extra bonuses on there.
Yes.
It is dizzying. 53 points of damage.
Yes.
Gives it a slam back for its trouble.
Nice. What does that look like then?
So I think he's like, he reels back and then he uses that like momentum going in the wrong direction to just whip the chain around, and it just scoops underneath the blade of it and smacks it in the back. As his power then charges back through the chain, having already gone the other way down the chain, it goes back through and probably reflects slightly off the mithril.
Well, the mithril, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. Yeah, you see, you're starting to chip some of its armor away there, which is excellent. But with that, we jump back to the top of the round. Bracken.
Bracken is finishing. He's already finished casting what he did before. It only cost him a standard action, but he's looking at this mirror, and I mentioned all those colours are beginning to form into it. Those colours begin to make a circle, spinning of different colours in the mirror. Then suddenly it begins to take shape. A crosshair. Bracken looms around the door, still maintaining cover, and hurls this shard of mirror high into the air as he casts True Strike. He then, with his True Strike was cast last round, so he now has plus 20 on his next attack. So this round, True Strike goes off, and he reaches up and then pulls a great portion of the castle ceiling free with another telekinetic strike, this time with plus 20 to his attack. Meaning, this is a plus 38 to the strike.
Oh, I'm not going to say it, so yes, do it.
55 to hit.
I was going to say there is still a chance.
I know there's still a chance, but I wasn't letting your negativity affect my turn, right?
Excellent. As you pull just debris from the ceiling, you rip it out as it drops onto it. 4.
Not too bad. 45 points of bludgeoning damage. I imagine it'll absorb some of that, but
it does.
It's still pretty spectacular as a great portion of the ceiling just gets torn away and smashed down upon the golem.
Yes.
And then Scorpion slams with the first claw, second claw. Possibly a vandal with the second one.
It was going so well.
25, that's a fumble, that's a 1 and then a 2.
We'll do the fumble later.
Okay, so I imagine that will just stop him from getting his tail attack. But never mind, that is one strike from his claw, which is not not something to be sniffed at. I do have his stats somewhere. Where are they? Okay, so not too bad at all. So that is 1. Sorry. 2. 2d6 plus 10. 17 points of damage.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a good portion of it's being resisted,
Yes.
but you also see a little bit buckle underneath, which is awfully nice.
But he also fumbles, so...
Roll me a d100.
Oh,
A lot of this will
surprised
probably...
to hit.
46.
I think this is probably going to be...
Dex.
Oh no, it's fumble.
We'll just say then, yeah, it's strength or drop weapon, so we'll just say that that's the reason why he didn't have his tail attack. He fumbled himself, so that's all fine. I'm not going to force a roll until we get something. Yeah. Claws in the air. Just, whew.
Incredible. That's my turn.
Beautiful stuff. With all the extra debris now lingering behind, the golem will provoke 2. No. Are you back behind the wall, or did you run out to do that?
I did it from cover, so I leant round the door and fired.
Okay.
So,
Just checking.
Yeah.
Da-da.
Just like that.
Yeah, I did a bond.
In that case,
Yeah.
Conrad, you get an attack of opportunity.
I'll take it.
Does my Scorpio get it?
No.
39, wasn't it? Bonus. If only that counted for anything.
If only it did, but it is definitely a hit.
Is it 20? Sorry, I've taken my thing off, so I don't actually know what any of my. 24. 27 points of damage.
That is delicious.
Take that, you headless bitch.
As it attempts to move away unscathed, you get a blow in there on its fleeing? No. Maneuvering position. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gets to here. And I need both the Scorpion and Conrad to make a reflex save, please. As it looks like from where its head should be, another surge of energy is about to be shot forward.
Oh
My maneuver's just
dear.
refreshed, so I get another diamond defense.
Excellent timing.
Yes, isn't it?
Okay, hang on.
38.
That is good.
Reflex for the monstrous, gargantuous Scorpion is a whopping
Not going to be high, is it?
+6. 14.
Wow.
Well, the Scorpion fails the reflex save. Conrad, you succeed. You will only take half damage. However, it looks as if this chaotic amount of energy hasn't settled until... Bracken, can you roll me a d6, please?
4.
Oh, 4 again. As another burst of electricity shoots out.
I am immune to... No, I'm not.
The Scorpion
No.
takes 56 points of electricity damage.
Okay.
Conrad takes half of that, which is 25, 28.
And I've got damage reduction 2, so that's 26.
Nice. Excellent stuff. It then slams into the back of the giant Scorpion.
Ooh.
That's a hit. It does. 38 points of damage as it just slams its tail.
And the giant Scorpion is just smashed to death. And it breaks apart and becomes naught but prismatic lights that float up into the air as he is dispelled and destroyed.
Goodbye, Summon Monster 9.
That sucked. Though, to be fair, the thing's got an armor class of freaking 40 or whatever. Like, what?
39.
I know it's 39, but it's basically 40. It might as well be 40. Might as well be 50 for the giant scorpion.
He got hit.
He got a hit, that's true.
And he was providing nice flanking opportunities for Conrad. But that is all it can do. Conrad. You see this giant scorpion just get absolutely disintegrated, and then it just like his tail is ripped off as then the prismatic fireflies just evaporate from it.
Is it fair to say that the magical stuff coming out of it is similar in nature to some of Bracken's magical effects? I'm thinking prismatic in nature.
Not necessarily prismatic, but it doesn't seem that when the energy seems to be manifesting, it doesn't seem to be settled, shall we say. There might be an element of chaos to what's going on, not necessarily prismatic.
Fair enough. In which case, it doesn't make any difference. I was just wondering. I'll move to there, just in front, with Conrad saying, "Get back here, you!"
To you.
And I will attempt another greater divine surge. Sadly, without my flanking buddy.
Still get a +1.
52.
I mean, is there any doubt when you roll a 52? That is a definite hit.
Probably should have taken some off that, but equally, I'll just have to try and heal myself later. Ooh, that's a nice hit as Conrad rushes forward, the chain swinging like a buzzsaw, and it just slams into him over and over and over again.
Oh, and like a buzzsaw, you just see metal getting ripped off as you just drive your chain deeper beyond, and you start to get to the core components of this golem, that mechanism, that living mechanism underneath that seems to power all golems. Not so much the heart, but whatever it is that is keeping this thing going, as you are stripping away more of this thick armor and this abyssal resistances, and that is beautiful.
And then Conrad stamps his feet, planting them, and re-engages roots of the mountain stance to face the inevitable onslaught coming.
Absolutely. With that beautiful attack, Bracken.
How's it looking?
That particular attack looked quite devastating. There is a good portion of its chest is now opened. It looks like Conrad has attacked it like a can opener to a tin of baked beans. It's just...
Give me them beans!
Give me those beans! It looks exposed. It's still going, but as with all golems, you can never tell. But the sheer brutality of that attack has ripped open so much of it.
Thing is, I'm very aware that we've only just entered this place, and I don't want to gun through all my spells when they're just not going to be effective against it. However, I am...
And also, Conrad will bring it down eventually.
I know eventually, but I also don't want you to get screwed. So what Bracken's going to do is he is going to use another scroll this time. He casts Project Image, which is the thing that makes it look like him. Now, he's not necessarily doing this to fool the golem. He's doing this so he can have a presence on the battlefield, so he can transfer spells around this area. So he will do that on his turn. He will summon forth another version of himself to operate as best he can.
Hello.
And he will... yeah, he'll
Should
be
have control.
5, 10, 15, 20... Yeah, he'll be there for now, and that's Bracken's turn.
Cool. That is excellent. And with your asset now on the field, the golem has a very, very quick recharge this turn, as it takes more of that lion's pose. And again, I need a reflex save off you, and I suppose one off the illusion if you want, I guess, to see if it looks like it does anything. It's up to you, Bracken. I know it's...
Doesn't matter, it's not going to touch it.
No, I know. It's up to you whether you...
I mean...
Got very lucky on that roll.
did.
Right, so this... I mean, technically it isn't subject to spell resistance, so it can do a will save if it wants. I don't know whether golems would see it. I don't even know how that works, to be honest, in terms of golems' perception of things. I'm not sure. I don't know why they would necessarily... No? I don't know.
It's shooting out essentially a breath weapon in a line, and I rolled very poorly on a will save, so for all intents and purposes it doesn't know any better.
Okay,
Which
so...
means
Yeah.
you can describe how you want to dodge it. Conrad, you will take half damage from this, but seeing as you're taking the brunt, can you roll me a d6, Conrad? As this energy again seems to manifest from its neck.
1.
Oh, this time the energy turns a horrific green, as instead of electricity that seems to shoot at you, it now seems reminiscent of the seabed's claw, as a line of acid now shoots your way. 4. 31 points of damage. Originally 62, so 31. And then it hits you 2 times. What's your armor class, Conrad?
28.
That's a hit. That's a hit. As these two, one hand slams, and then this extension of this sort of sword-like arm slams into your other. He almost does this. Bang. It's 2 attacks. For 91 points of damage over 2 hits.
What? Why is it doing so much damage to me?
Oh,
So that comes down
brutal.
to 87. Got 1 in the damage pool, topping that up.
Just the 1.
86.
You still okay?
Oh, he's still standing, but he's
Okay.
he's down to a knee now, I think.
I mean, that was always Seyrak, the monk's technique, was to just slam on the 2 sides of the head, and that's sort of what's just occurred, just knocking you senseless. Just like, whoa, for a second, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's now your turn. How are you going to retaliate?
I have no option but to try and do a strike of righteous vitality to heal. Otherwise, I'm in the shit. So Conrad, from a knee, charges up and tries to uppercut. 45.
Yes. That's a hit.
And as he does it, he glows gold for a second, and not even close to all of the damage that he suffered heals, but a decent portion. I mean, like a good occurrence. It means he's still in the fight for a little while longer, and also the thing takes 31 points.
Oh. And you heal a bit?
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out how much. Yeah, I mean he's back to a healthy balance, I would say. When I mean he didn't have like a frightening amount for a normal person, but for Conrad he was in trouble.
You said you were on a knee at that point, and now I suppose you're sort of standing back up again. It's almost as if you trade places, because now the golem seems to fall to one knee. It still seems to be creaking and whirring and analysing and just getting ready to attack you, but it's now on one knee, and it seems to be jolting and staggering with its movements. But Bracken, it is your turn.
Yeah, Bracken has resolved himself to the fact that to beat this, it really needs to be Conrad to do the beating of it. And he sees that while Conrad has healed himself, he needs to help him avoid taking more strikes like that. He can't help him in any way in terms of armor, because Conrad's armor far exceeds anything he could award him. However, Bracken can make sure that Conrad isn't there when the strikes land. His projection moves forward and will deliver a touch spell onto you, Conrad. He casts Displacement. Conrad now has a 50% mischance as he appears to be flickering like a Displacer beast, actually a different distance from him behind him. True Seeing betrays his position, if it has True Seeing.
You'll find out.
But it is otherwise effective.
Excellent. With that, the golem lifts itself off its knee, and it goes to deliver, well, a full round of attacks upon you, Conrad. That's 2, and then its extra moment, its extra alacrity, its third extra. 1. That's a second hit. And for the first time, that's possibly a fumble.
Oh.
It's just a miss.
Yeah.
Do you want to do the mischances?
So, 2 attacks. I'll do this publicly. Actually, no, Conrad, you do them. Odds is a miss, even is a hit.
I think Mike should do them.
Sure?
Yeah,
Okay.
You do it.
So, I'll just do first attack. Odd is a miss, even's a hit. That's a miss. And a miss. As it's 2 attacks. Vroom. Vroom. Move
Feel like-
right through your displacement.
As it's swinging, that's the point that Bracken's illusion runs up and just manages to touch him just in time, so it flickers out of the way for the 2 hits.
And yeah, the third one just completely misses. That was an unfortunate round for the golem, but is this the moment for Conrad?
Well, of course, the difficulty is it makes it harder to hit him. But I will attempt an Ancient Mountain Hammer to finish the rest. Of course, I can.
Oh, it's possibly a fumble.
Yeah. It's just a miss.
Just a miss. Oh.
Of course, that's the moment. Of course, it is. Never mind.
That is unfortunate, as maybe the displacement just throws you off, perhaps.
Yeah, I think he wasn't expecting it, and he swings at the wrong time, and it just flashes through.
He's not got himself used to the effect yet. That's a shame. Ah, Bracken. Unless, Conrad, is there anything else you want to do?
No, I'm all good.
Cool. Bracken then.
Yeah, I don't really know. I haven't really got much else to do. I don't want to do because Bracken does have this thing where he can bring out another spell that he hasn't prepared, but I don't want to use that now. I want to save that because you never know. and I'm pretty sure we've got this thing on the ropes. But what he can do is he can potentially do something to help Conrad more. So, I know what I'm gonna do. Is it, you know, there's a, I'm just desperately trying to look it up, so bear with me 1 second. I'm sort of at a loss. I do apologise.
That's okay.
It's not bull strength, because you've already got enough. Ah! Do you have anything boosting your constitution at the moment, Conrad?
I believe I do.
Oh, balls.
I've got an amulet of health.
Do you have anything boosting your strength?
He shouts.
You got anything boosting
You
your
know
strength?
what I have affecting me. No! I'm just very strong.
Yeah, your magic items are amulets of health, if I remember. No giant strength ones.
Oh, I'm a moron. It doesn't matter anyway, because it doesn't matter because I can't cast scrolls through my boy. I was looking at my scrolls. I don't have that one prepared. So it's not a case of you not being able to hit him, really, unless you roll badly, right?
It depends. If it keeps not hitting me, I've got a 50-50 chance of hitting it, basically. More or less. A slightly better chance than 50-50. Still.
I have an idea.
But if it hits me, the chances of me hitting it improves.
True.
No, that's not going to work. That'll be a spell on it, and that won't work. I have to do something. Okay, I literally have nothing to do against him. Do I have anything that I can throw at him?
You got loads of knives.
Hey, you said acid. I have a vial of acid written down from at some point.
Okay.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I can't throw it that far, can I?
No.
This is what happens when you put me against things that I can't do anything against. So if anything, it's your fault that I'm slowing down the pace of your combat, Michael. I literally haven't got a clue. I'm gonna... How bad is Conrad looking?
I'd say he looks like he's been in a fight, but he's got a few more rounds in him. If I was to be vague, if you want me to be more specific.
No, I wouldn't. It's got to be like vague, isn't it? Otherwise, it's a bit much, isn't it? Okay, all right.
Yeah, he looks like he's taken some hits and could take a few more hits.
His hand is healed.
Yeah, his hand's not broken at least.
There is a spell that I'm looking for. Oh yes, here it is. Okay. I'm sacrificing a level 7 spell slot for this spell, but thankfully I do have it prepared. I just need to look up whether it's touch. I'm pretty sure it is. Another creature. Perfect. Okay. This is level 7. Bracken's aspect, even though that your presence is like flickering with displacement, his hand rests on your shoulder, and he says, "Come, Conrad. You will defend your home, and I will stand by you every step of the way. Now, destroy that hulking menace." As Bracken casts Cynostodweema.
What?
He channels the spell that he is using in his hand, his transmutation power, into pure positive energy. And that spell cures 1d8 per spell level. He effectively uses this to heal you. Bracken has a heal spell. You take 40 points of HP back.
Thank you very much.
And that is a swift action, but I can't think of anything else to do, so that's my turn.
What was the spell called?
Cynostodweema.
Great. Love it.
Wow.
Level 7.
We have not
wizard
encountered
spell.
its use before.
No, well, I had it prep last campaign, but I didn't use it. But it is there.
Well, that is an exceptional means of defense for Conrad there, as he gets more health back. The creature in front of you, Conrad, still on one knee, still looking haggard, lowers its neck. And again, I need a reflex save off you.
Okay. Now the question is... Yeah, I'm going to use Diamond Defense on it again. I feel like better to get out of the way of this. 43.
You will take half damage. Bracken, can you roll me a d6, please? Let's we ascertain what it is that hits you.
1.
Acid again.
Yeah, another line of acid. It's been very, very tame.
As long as it's not sending me to another dimension.
Send you to another dimension! As 29 points of acid damage, that is halved, strikes you. It then, well, does it? Because you got a mischance, I suppose.
Yeah.
Evens a hit, odds a miss. It's a hit, so yeah. You take that, and then 2 slams come into you. That's possibly a fumble. It's its second one. Just a miss. And its second is a hit. Is it though? That is a hit. So 1 hit lands on you. 1 hit missed, and the other one did hit Conrad, dealing 31 points of damage.
Thank you.
As it is struggling now to maintain the aggression it had at the start of the fight, Conrad, will this be the moment?
Ancient Mountain Hammer. 41.
It's a hit!
Only just, my god. So, Ancient Mountain Hammer, for those who have forgotten, ignores damage reduction and hardness, and sunders as well. Not that really matters, but it's the damage reduction bit it's looking for. It also does a healthy amount of extra damage.
Yes.
And I've typed up the number in there. There we go. 72 points of damage.
Conrad, do you care to describe for me how you cut through and destroy the abyssal mithril golem like a hot knife through butter?
So in the previous thing, it obviously hit me once, and it did the acid burst as well. So I think it did the acid burst second, so it's pointing its open neck at Conrad, and he just wraps the chain around his fist, summons all of his power, all of the energy of the mountain, and just dives fist first into the deep dark hole, and just shatters it into pieces, standing there like...
And it crumbles like dust beneath your chained fist. And you hear, as all the parts of this abyssal mithril clang to the floor, it is almost like you hear the sounds of many locks as many doors unlock. And at that, we shall take a brief break. So, Mithril Golem down.
Yeah.
What will linger beyond in the rest of Highkeep? As always, if you haven't already, please give us a like and subscribe. As Rob mentioned, we have been on 72 followers on Twitch for a very long time. If we can get that to 75, even to 80, and preferably to 100, that would be amazing. And if you haven't on Twitch, or if you have on Twitch but haven't on YouTube, please go to YouTube and to Rob's channel, Performance Check, where we host Roll the Bones, and give Rob a like and subscribe through there as well. And we shall be back soon. I can't move too much. I'm going to fall off my chair.
Nah.
And we are back. And we have just seen our players deal. That is my phone as well. As I heard myself there. We've just seen our players dealing with some abyssal mithril golem that was hidden within the long-preserved body of Dakari, the Lion of Legend. But with its defeat, you heard the sound of many locks tumbling open. What will you do?
Well, Bracken will defer to Conrad again, as he had done previously. It seems like the doors that were barred are now opened. Do you wish to go and check the first door we went to previously?
I feel like that's the most sensible place to check first, if that makes sense. I feel like that's just the obvious first port of call, right?
I agree. Before, Bracken, looking at the golem, notes that this thing is made of mithril, a very valuable substance. Perhaps there's some kit to be garnered from this thing. Can he do like a search check or something?
Typically it's been a survival check in the past, so I will allow a knowledge check.
Yeah, but he's a wizard and wizards make golems, so...
Yeah, so I'll give you a knowledge check, either the planes or dungeoneering.
Fine by me. It's even better. It's even better.
Even better.
It's just that I don't have my thing copied anymore. So I will roll a knowledge. The planes. 29.
You're able to use your knowledge from the abyss and your studies to extrapolate safely a fair amount of this corrupted mithril. It's not pure mithril. It is a corrupted version of it. There's definitely enough to work with if you were to make something with it, but you would need to find an appropriate smith or forge to do so. but there's enough materials there you could either craft a amount of armor or weapons, depending. You can put that into a bag of holding. I think you have a bag of holding.
Yeah, we do have a bag of holding.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. With that, then, Bracken will take up the mithril, put it in the bag of holding, and then join Conrad to look at the artistry of this most spectacularly carved door.
It is an exceptional door.
Behold, the Great Hall of Hiking.
What a nice plant.
Well, that's not right.
You open the doors to the dining room, the dining hall. This place was always full of joy and mirth, crowded with lords feasting and boasting, and many a tale was spun upon the stage here. Much of the social lineage of the Highkeep lords was founded in this very room. Now the presence of the ruling lords is the one of forced entertainment. The lords are sat around the table, some appearing to be miming the motions of eating, some heads collapsed as if forgotten into the stagnant dinners abandoned on their plates, many forced to turn and watch the motions on the stage. Alexander the Valiant stands on one side. As you can see, I'm brandishing here. He appears to be miming the actions of brandishing a rapier, except his hand is empty. Standing against him is someone dressed as Conrad de Vizier. He looks like he is miming the actions of swinging a chain, albeit there is no chain in his hands. Conrad, it is not difficult to see this version of you is your brother, Theoron de Vizier.
I'm assuming they both look as, and all of the guests all look the same blank, empty husks that we've met so far. Conrad looks at the stage, seeing his brother and his cousin acting out some mummer's farce, and says to Bracken, I believe someone is poking fun at me, Bracken. If I'm not mistaken, I think the intent here is to mimic the duel that had me kicked out of Highkeep.
Yes, it is obvious that this jester feels it necessary to poke fun. I wonder if it'll be so willing to do so directly to our faces. We must free these people from this entrapment. Bracken is going to cast Detect Magic and Read Magic to see if he can learn if there's like a specific spell that's doing this.
The effects on the people is very much it's not a spell. You know, this has, from what you remember and from what you can see, seems to be almost an extension of what the Grey Jester can just do. It doesn't seem to be a spell it's doing. It just seems that this is something to which this Fae can just do without. But you can imagine that this abyssal taint has amplified this power. What you can recognise, though, is this performance on stage seems to have elements of an arcane lock about them, as if something hasn't been completed yet. A resolution has not been finished within a certain spell, and perhaps there is, for lack of a better description, a key missing. And what that key is to complete this spell, or unlock this spell, lies somewhere in this performance.
Bracken will convey that to Conrad as best he can, and he will conclude saying, I believe the event that's being portrayed on the stage is in need of completion. But what will happen when it is completed, I do not know. I feel like that's playing into the hands of the Fae.
Indeed. Conrad will go and take a closer look, walking up to the stage.
And yeah, approaching the stage, it's the last time you would have seen your cousin would have been in this conflict, at least the real one. As for your brother, I don't know. But for both, they stand in front of you completely powerless, void of any personality they were. There is no remark of cousin. There is no brother. There is no nothing. No baby Conrad, no cousin Conrad, no jibes, no pokes, no jostling, no underhanded insult. There is nothing.
I want to try something, I guess. Conrad's gonna get on the stage and try and move one of them.
Yeah.
Just sort of maybe remove them from the stage.
Who are you moving?
Let's move Theron.
Yep. So you hop up to the stage and you pull Theron off the stage.
Yeah.
Are you on the stage at this point and you pushed him off, or are you off the stage pulling him off?
I guess we'd have to go on the stage to remove him. I was very careful about my wording, Michael. And I'd... and I would request the same from you.
Of course, I would no longer suggest such comments.
Yes, I suppose I'll enter the stage.
You go onto the stage to move your brother, yes. You noticed that when you move Theron off the stage, whilst you're on the stage, it's almost as if Alexander seems to shift towards you, sort of the same distance he was from Theron.
Right. So I've taken over, have I? As it were.
Potentially.
It's a puzzle. It's a puzzle you've given us. if I move a step closer to him, what?
He maintains that distance, that performance distance.
And if I take a step back?
Well, he's maintaining the distance. He was on a line before, but he's... yeah.
How is he dressed, just out of curiosity?
Alexander looks almost identical to what he was wearing in the duel the first time. Just as Theron looks like he's wearing very much what you were wearing.
Interesting.
Except, yeah, he has no sword in his hand. His hand looks like it's meant to be holding a sword, but there's no sword. Just as Theron looked like he was meant to be holding a chain, but wasn't.
I will draw my sword and place it in Alexander's hand.
Yep.
That seems to be what it wants.
What is your armor class?
Flat-footed. 26.
Oh, it's a miss.
Sorry, it's 27.
Oh, then very much a miss.
That is a hit.
As it goes, once the sword is, it goes back to the motions it was doing before, but this time now it's got a weapon in its hand. Its motions can reach you, and that rapier now is able to reach you, except it just deflects off your armor. It doesn't. It doesn't cause you any injury, but he's now looking like he's able to move with that stage performance and actually now be in range of you with that weapon.
Well, that might have been a silly thing to do. Okay. Conrad will look to Bracken and say, do you think he wants me to reenact the duel?
I think it is a certainty that it wants you to do so. And again, I think it's playing into its hands. But look at where we are. We know that your culture is one for stories, and your story is one of great, well, renown to us, but ill repute to this community. Perhaps the Grey Jester finds mirth in their derision of you.
Very well. Never let it be said that I would walk away from a challenge. Conrad will bow to Alexander and says, a challenge to the Lord of Highkeep. Come and face the representative of the land. I challenge you with this weapon. And he gestures to his chain.
The body of Alexander again now seems to fall into a repetition of its moves it's done before. It goes in to attack you, comrade.
28 now if I'm ready for it.
It either you brush it aside, it deflects off your armor. It's nowhere near hitting you.
Yeah, I think importantly, it can't hit his torso as the vital part of a ceremonial duel in high keep. So he probably just swats it aside with an arm. Again, almost sort of absent-mindedly stopping the hit. He's not. It's not something he would necessarily struggle to do, I suspect. He looks to Bracken again and says, "Do you think this is supposed to be how the duel was, or how the duel should have been?"
That is indeed a question. As it should have been.
As it should have.
What is theatre, if not the betrayal of truth?
Well, the truth was I didn't fight the duel fairly and I won. How it should have been.
The truth is what we make it?
The truth of the duel was, yeah, something else. So basically, it's do I let him hit him? Do I let him hit Conrad? Or do I bring him down? And I can't think. I feel like just a duel as it happened.
What was the, remind me, Conrad, for as I understand it, you did fought nobly, but you fought with, you did not fight with a blade.
Yes, that's correct.
And was that the only determining factor of you, losing or not succeeding, shall we say?
It wasn't a matter of success for me. It was a largely ceremonial duel that Alexander was supposed to win and would have won if I'd fought with a sword, but I chose a chain with which I had a greater reach and I hit him first.
Yes, that's right. Well, that day you changed the narrative. I say you changed the narrative here too.
Very well, and Conrad will swing the chain and try and whip Alexander's legs from under him.
That's what you
As
get
he did.
for bloody scripting duels.
41 on his touch.
Wow.
Yes, absolutely.
And 17 on opposed trip.
I mean, it doesn't really retaliate.
So faster than you would anticipate Conrad being able to move, the chain whips around Alexander's ankles and just sweeps him into the air, landing him on his back.
And as he drops onto his back, the sword drops from his hand. Theron drops next to you, and you hear a almost ensemble chorus of boos and jeers and some cursing. You're damn you! And
He was so angry, he cut his sound out.
so angry indeed. It doesn't sound like anger, it sounds farcical, orchestrated. as the room boos against you, and as the boos and the taunts reach almost a fever pitch, everyone stops, and it's almost as if the strings are cut. Some just collapse into their chair, others their face down into their plates, others fall off their chairs, as everyone in the room is dropped.
Well, Conrad will go and pick up his sword and sheath it again. That was a trip down memory lane I didn't need.
I'm sorry you had to go through that, Conrad.
It's surprisingly accurate. Do I recognise any... Sorry.
My concern, Bracken will simply say, is the knowledge that this creature has of you. And we have many dealings with the Abyss, but we only have one dealing with that of the Fae, at least to my knowledge.
Yeah. Well, more than one dealing with one Fae. Just the one Fae. Do I recognise the people at the table? Is it just general?
You recognise quite a few of them. Where's my... I have a big map here. Right, give me a moment. You can see at the front, at the centre of here,
Head of the table,
Andred Levaliant, the current presiding ruler of Highkeep, the lands Levaliant, and the entire region of Levelis. To his right is Lady Levaliant, and to his left is your mother, Sabrine de Vizier. To her left sits your father, Einar de Vizier. And to his left is a member of House Strata, Lady Silver Jarvan. To the right of Lady Levaliant is here and here some names you may have encountered already, other rulers, other notable houses within Highkeep, and especially within the regions Levaliant. Hager Larior sits directly next to the Lady Levaliant, and Hendel Rain is sat next to him. Sitting around the table are some lords you're not necessarily familiar with. They are families of note, or merchants of note, but they are not people you would have encountered, possibly. If you have, you wouldn't have made note of their name. Notable people indeed, of the upper circles, yes, but of one of the notable lordling families, no. But, yeah, notably so, your father sits here and your mother here.
Which, my understanding of the situation in Highkeep, based on what they'd written and things that we discovered, that's not really right, is it? They shouldn't be that close, or probably shouldn't even be in the company of...
Well, your sister is related. So your sister, for all intents and... Sorry, your mother is sister to Andred Levaliant. Mm-hmm. And as such, she would still have a right. Okay. Einar, however, under typical circumstances, would probably be further down the table. He'd still be now. He would be back at the table at this point, following his amendments, shall we say. But you would imagine he wouldn't be sat so close to Andred the Valiant at this point.
Gotcha. I don't know how important that is, particularly to the internal politics of Highkeep. I don't know if the Jester particularly cares about that sort of thing, but it's interesting to note. And there's some wine things at the far end of the hall. Is that wine or is it blood?
You get a bit closer and it doesn't smell like wine. It doesn't really look like wine. You test it with the little finger and that's definitely not wine. You notice as well that blood is slowly dripping out of the spigot.
Spigot. Excellent word.
Spigot.
Spigot.
Yes, I don't think there's. I feel like this must be resolved elsewhere. Unless we did that wrong. Do you want to try doing the play again, but the other way around?
It doesn't look like the strings are there anymore, does it? It looks like the spell has ended, I suppose.
Then maybe we should move on. Maybe.
There's a lot of doors in here.
There are a lot of doors. But again, you must lead us, so choose.
Well, let's start here. Oh my god.
Yes, you open the door and a room you may not have been to before. This is the jeweler's room. This is where those would practice dueling, their fighting, and matches and tourneys of more internal fun and sportsmanship would be held. Those of much greater performance were kept, even to the stage or to the public. But this, when not used for a performance per se, was kept as a room of practice. Possibly the most macabre thing, however, are the two duelists at the front who are slumped into their swords, the swords themselves appearing to bear the weight of the wielder, but held in front of them, each methodically stabbing back and forth as they take it in turns, stabbing each other with their rapiers. Blood is flowing slowly, and it doesn't look. There looks on the floor like there's been a lot of blood. It doesn't look like there's much blood left, as both participants are in a horrific stalemate.
Does it look like they're dead, I'm assuming?
It's hard to say from here.
Does that surroundings, the plants, the vines and stuff, does that appear to have the same coating as the as what we've passed before?
It does, yes. You know, if you're going to try and pass your way through, you would need to attempt a check.
Not necessarily. A running jump has a set DC, I believe.
Yes.
So if I do a running jump from here, diagonally, what's the DC?
So you need 20-foot movement. The DC would be... Technically, it would be a 14 on jump.
Okay. I like those odds.
At least for this bit here.
Yeah, Bracken looks at the distance and narrows his eyes. Conrad, do we mean to approach?
Well, we should probably see if they're alive or dead.
Very well. And then Bracken sort of like half looks up above him as if like addressing the gods that may still be watching us. And he will say, not like the sewer.
14, come on.
Not like the sewer. And then, not wanting to waste the spell, charges the gap. Ah! With a 29 on the jump, he clears the room.
There is a moment where Bracken's mind just goes back to that fateful running in, the wizard's leap.
For those who are watching, Bracken ran to try and jump over a sewer and just didn't manage to jump at all and just kept running and fell in. But now he has redeemed himself, clearing the gap and landing in the dueling area.
Well done, yes.
Conrad does a slightly less impressive jump, despite a great many more skill points put into it.
It is not as noisy as Bracken's jump, where Bracken shouts like just to rile himself up for it. Conrad's like, I can just do this.
He like kicks off the wall,
Then he did a flip.
and then he did a flip.
Yes, you see. I don't need to tell you to roll for this. One of the combatants is General Valner, colloquially known as General Valor, one of the leaders of the militia and the army in Levelis, known as one of the greatest combatants in the land, has fought in other wars in other countries, and has been preparing Levelis should it ever be in a position of conflict. Though the country has never been to war, General Valner has impressive experience through dogs of war, through mercenary work, and through just being a known quantity in other lands. The other duelist is Lertha Divisio.
Oh.
Hey?
It is the second brother.
I guess on seeing that, Conrad would interpose himself and try and catch the swords.
No.
1. Both attacks come at you, and again, there's no major skill in what they're doing, so both sort of brush against your armor as you're able to start intervening.
Is it possible to try and, I guess, disarm them would be the...
You could essentially just... You've got in the way now. I'm not going to force you to a disarm check, but one of them will still be able to attack you, essentially, again.
Sure.
So you're disarming...
I'll disarm the general first.
You disarm the general. Your brother will just see if he can... If it happens... Oh, that was almost a threat. But I imagine at the last minute you're able to go, oh, and you just quickly nudge it away and brush it aside, as that could have potentially been quite nasty. But I suppose you then...
Yeah, and then disarm the other, my brother as well.
You take the swords out. You notice they both seem to, for a while, continue the motions as if they still had the swords in hands, and then they sort of slowly start, like a deflating balloon, drop back down.
Are they alive still?
You can give me a heal check and a spot check.
Heal is just flat.
Both of you can.
Okay.
Well, both of you can give me a heal check. Conrad can give me a spot check.
Oh.
Spot is 31 for the natural 20.
Oh,
I rolled a 1, which gave me a grand total of 2 on my heal check.
you don't know. You're trying to figure out. You can't tell at this point if they're breathing. It must be so shallow or faint. There was a bit of blood coming out. You have no idea. But what you spotted is that your brother was wielding Alexander's rapier. Maybe not so important now, but his actual rapier, the one you remember from the duel,
Yes.
is there.
I'll see if I can give Lertha a potion of cure light wounds. If that's go on.
That's yeah. Give me a
D8 plus 5, I think.
yes.
Not D28. 11.
Your brother seems... his breathing seems to speed up more than what it was. You think you caught it just in time.
And the general probably don't want him to die. I suppose you've got any light wound potions or anything, have you, Bracken?
I do, yes.
Would you mind?
Yeah, of course. I have quite a number of cure light wound potions. How many do you want?
Just one, I think, just to save the...
Very well, one it is. I'll remove it from my sheet. Bracken rummages in his belongings and then produces the cure light wounds potion for you.
Nice.
And, yeah, Conrad will give it to the general.
You pass what you can, just passing the contents over him, trying to use the spell effects, and you can see the general as well seems to start to regain a little more breathing as he seems to stabilize a little bit.
I guess I take Alexander's sword. I take both swords actually in case they start trying to stab one another again.
Fair enough.
And I'll try and put them in a more comfortable position, as I assume they just sort of fell to the ground in a heap.
Yeah, I mean they slumped down, so you can lay them out, put them in the recovery position, so to speak.
Yeah, exactly.
As General Valor and Lertha de Vizier are tended to.
I'm assuming there's not really anything else in the room.
From what you can make out from a quick scout, not really.
I think we've outstayed our welcome here, Bracken.
I think so. Ugh.
$14, Bracken.
He looks to the gods.
Will you make the jump?
Bring me fortune. Wow!
Lay down the die.
Click! Bomb.
Bracken leaps over.
Yes.
Not a problem.
34. Conrad will turn to his brother and say, keep well, brother, and then extravagantly leap.
Are we talking like almost like levitating kind of leap, or
Superman style.
Yeah, he almost takes off.
or does it look like you're attached by wires and in the middle of the air you do like a 1080 and then land?
Yeah, definitely that one.
Nice. You give a nod to your rope guys on the pulleys and you carry on.
I've having fine. There's no rope guys to me. That was an expensive cross-class effort to get my jump to 10. Thank you.
Oh. Wait, cross-class or just cross-skill?
Sorry, cross-skill.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? How you have to spend double to increase it. Yes.
Yes, 20 skill points. Oh.
I know. It was I gradually whittled away from that very day. I said I'll never not put it in jump.
Never again.
And it's paid off.
Yes, for a 5-foot jump.
Over some dangerous bits.
Very dangerous bits.
There were bits.
Right, on, for I tire of this petty lark. Let us continue.
Agreed. And he bursts open another door.
You open the door into what looks like a sitting room. This living room, though, has been ransacked. All the books have been ripped off the shelf. The bear rug as well seems to follow you around the room. And it's almost as if someone has built the sofas into a child's fort.
Is that a painting? Bracken rummages in his belongings to find the scrap that he had found torn in that man's hand, and then approaches.
What's it a painting of? Is it a painting?
At the moment, it's a blank canvas that's radiating a sickly glow. It appears as part of the easel, though, is missing.
Part of what's missing?
Part of the fabric of the easel, of the picture, is missing.
Damn. If only I could put the piece that I had taken from that man onto this right now.
If only.
Oh wait, I will. Bracken sees if it fits.
It does, and as you put the you fill the gap with this part of the portrait. Are you both looking at it?
Yeah.
Can you both make a will save, please?
Diamond defense.
Normal save. Oh, resistance,
Normal.
of course. Resistance, of course.
50.
Oh, that's a save.
$39.
You both resist any adverse effect as you feel you almost merge your mind with the painting, and what you're seeing now appear isn't necessarily a picture being painted on the easel, but rather a picture being painted on the easel in your mind, as you both now see it paint appearing and then shifting on the easel of a live figure running away from a huge cat and a ghostly lady. It appears to sneak into a tree But inside the tree, the darkness on the palette forms as it changes into a goat and then a bull. And the picture dissipates.
Conrad, did we smoke something before we came into this place? I mean, what was that?
I don't know, it feels like some visionary's route or something, doesn't it?
Ah, yes. I remember my visionary roots day. Note, there was only one.
Can you both make a will save, please?
We just did a will save!
Oh, this is under 6 seconds. What would it be? 18 seconds.
Yeah,
later,
we're
isn't
gonna...
It is under 18, yeah.
Standard.
28.
33.
You're both okay.
Let's leave.
The picture, as a second part of the image forms in your mind, the hybrid creature seems to infuse this lithe figure with power, causing it to get stronger, bigger, as this lithe figure takes on a typical hero's pose. But as it does, its grin and eyes get bigger until they take up the entire palette, revealing in its eyes people dropping and being hauled up like marionettes. You blink and you both come to. You see you're both have bits of paint running off each other. You've not noticed this, but your cheeks have got black paint running down them. The easel now appears as if the gap has reappeared.
Oh.
The gap, the broken part of the portrait is back, as if the bit you've put in has gone now.
Is the bit that I put in my possession, or is it gone?
No, it's gone. Used up.
It's in my pocket.
It's in my pocket.
What do we think? History of the Grey Jester? How it got to be the way it is?
Yeah, so I imagine the ghostly lady being maybe like the Pale Knight.
Yeah.
Is that maybe the cat represents the Mixoplexal? Mimixicus.
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 Was
The one with
the cat?
The
it had an
Mimixicus was
eel-like tail. It had 4 arms and a weird skeletal head.
It's the one that I have imprisoned in the
in your pocket.
diamond.
Yes.
Yes.
Would it not be one of the Rakshasa, maybe? The fat cat.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Yeah, the fat cats.
Don't know what the goat and the bull were, though.
Bracken will rummage through his belongings, and his eyes fall upon an item that they've not yet used since the fateful battle in the abyss. His eyes fall on the Black Scroll of Arm, because we still have it, I believe. Does that look like that might go on there?
It doesn't.
The end.
Its power doesn't feel as effective here as it did before.
That's good. I don't fancy getting ear scabs again.
No. All becomes smelly.
Yeah, smelly.
The taint.
The bear, is that following us around the room in a similar way to the dragon?
Its head is, yes. It's on the floor, but its head is looking at you only.
Creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly. What's this in the bottom left corner? Looks like a book. Is it just a book?
Well, it could be.
I'd like to take a closer look at the book.
This book looks similar to one you picked up earlier from your abode. It looks just as old. It looks just as delicate, shall we say. And the script is as archaic. Weirdly enough, though, yes, there is, as with the other one, something very old about it. And it has actually remained relatively untouched.
Is it in a case or anything, or is it just
Just there.
Is it the same book? As in, is it like a copy of, like, you know how sometimes there are multiple copies of the same book? Is it exactly the same book?
No, it's a quick look at the two of them. They similarities, but they're different.
Do you want to take it, just in case it's...
Yeah, I mean, I think it might be a good idea just to have it. Add it to the collection.
Might return it later.
Yeah.
I know you have a habit of taking books.
Listen, I take them and then I end up don't reading them, and I start one and then I'll start another one and I'll never go back to it. Yes, I know, I have very bad reading habits, Conrad. I don't think it's time to attack me on this, like there are other things to think about. Bracken will look at it and he will perform a decipher script upon it just in case. Because I know I'm obsessed with deciphering the script.
For the 4th decipher script roll of the game.
He is obsessed with it. He cannot get enough. He can't even stop thinking about deciphering a script every day. 30.
Very much like the other one, you're starting to see patterns, and you're just on a quick scan, you're starting to figure out the alphabet, the lexicon of it. But again, this is not a quick decipher. This would be a studied thing. You would at least have to get one of them under your belt to do another one as quickly.
Ah, okay. Looks like I'm going to need another one to help decipher further. I'm learning a new alphabet, it seems.
As if you deciphered one of the two you've got, the other one would be a lot quicker to then decipher. But even then, it's going to take a bit of time.
I think we're done here.
Very well.
4th.
Can I put one of the sheets over the bear's head?
Yeah, work ahead, yeah.
You, yes, you do. You can see a slight glow coming from beneath the sheet as the eyes still appear to be following you out. And now it looks like a really bad sheet ghost is tracing your steps as you leave the room.
Oh, I've got an idea. Bracken will quickly head back to... I know, it's too far. Never mind. Doesn't matter. I was thinking about that dragon we saw earlier that was also scrying on us, but...
you can't be bothered to go all the way back.
Can't be bothered to go all the way back there.
Fair enough.
Next door. Oh, darn.
You open into what would be the Lord Lavaliant's office. On your right as you enter are display cases that have been ransacked, smashed, utterly just destroyed. Again, the shelves have been completely rinsed, and you're just like, someone's got their hand in there and just gone. Some roadman's come in, yes. But As well as that, yes, this is the office.
Is there anything of note here, I wonder? It doesn't look... What's on this table here? These appear to be...
Notes.
Interesting, yeah, what's that?
Oh, I thought you meant over.
Give me a search check.
I can see them.
But I can see it.
I can see it with my own eyes!
I know what I want. Give it to me.
Search. Fine. That's a 20 on the die. What are those things?
Show me everything.
16.
Yeah, I find everything in the room.
Those are things like paperweights, they are inkwells, but you find inside the cupboard, it looks like someone has stashed a lot of empty bottles in here as you do, and as you open it, just bottles just cascade out, lots of liquor bottles.
Oh, someone hiding a bit of a problem, are they, or...?
Well, in here it appears to be. On the desk... you find a couple of letters and notes and writs, and there's a few of note. There is there's one document that seems to contain Devissier quite a lot, and giving that a peruse, it states that the house will maintain its position and standing due to the actions of the family to amend the earlier conflict. And there is a correspondence near the back where your father has explained about the removal of the presents and describes what has happened to you as an exile. There is a later documentation clipped to it that reads that the ideal fix would have been for you to lose publicly, but removal is the next best situation. There is a final reply from your father that says all stakes in the family would now only go to his first two borns.
That's one way of resolving it, I suppose.
Ha!
Conrad just dropped the letters back on the desk and leave.
There was a few others which, if you've gone, maybe Bracken would want to look at. If not, I shall say no more.
Bracken will glance at them as he walks away.
You glance at them, you see one that has quite a lot of mention about Alexander. You very briefly notice something about reenacting a lost tradition and have Alexander head to Night's Rest. And there's a comment later underneath that says performance. But that's very quick passing.
Interesting. Any more?
No.
Bye.
Part of the problem of hiking is that sometimes when they don't like something, they just pretend it never happened. Conrad says as he opens it.
You open the door and you see the stairs leading up.
Oh, look, it's a glowy lion.
This room is full with portraits of varying ancestors and poignant members of the Levaliants. Weirdly, though, you look up the stairs, you don't see the stairs leading up to another floor. The stairs appear to lead into an open, outdoor-like area. It doesn't seem to match, as if there's some form of portal.
the lion on the wall?
Its eyes are following you, and it's weird. You seem to blink, and a couple of moments its head appears to be that of a giant grinning bull, almost like a minotaur's head, just laughing at you. But it's only ever an instant. It's just gone. Other times it appears a bit like a goat, also laughing at you. But again, it never stays long enough for you to see it properly. It's almost as if you just catch it in the corner of your eye. And then when you do look, the lion returns.
We want to go up the stairs at some point. There is one more room off here.
Yes. Are there not some doors further back as well we yet to check as well? Like down that,
yes,
down that other corridor.
There are, yes.
Well, let's try this one first.
You open the door and you can see what looks like a large kitchen area. Again, some of the water troughs and barrels have been replaced with blood. The ovens are cold and still. There is a door to the far right that appears closed, as there is curving round to the left. The food has started to go stale. There is, on some tables, questionable looking meat. Can't tell if maybe an unfortunate soul has been subject to another sick game in here.
From the look, I will quickly go and confirm. Bracken moves to the far end of the kitchen and opens the door to reveal a way back to where we fought the golem. Cool. That's one route crossed out then. Okay. What is the door on the far end of the kitchen, however? A pantry, perhaps?
Oh.
You open the door, and you see, within the pantry, a familiar form. Bracken is rummaging through barrels. He looks hungry and starved, thinner and more ravenous than you've seen him. His hands from the back look far more gaunt. But then he turns around, and it is not Bracken's face that greets you. It's a bull's face. Sometimes it's a goat's. And then it just grins. It doesn't know I'm here. And then it stands proper, as this figure of Bracken seems to almost stand up and become double its height, as it then becomes triple its height, as whatever this image of Bracken is gets bigger and larger until the point where Bracken collapses in a cascade of blood and vanishes into the floorboards.
Conrad will just look at Bracken.
That wasn't one of mine. That was horrible.
Yeah.
And a goat and a bull's face grinning and... Oh,
Yeah.
what is it? What did he mean by that? That it doesn't know I'm here? Is there some other force at work secreting its way into Highkeep?
A goat and a bull. It was obviously in the painting thing.
In the painting, yeah.
What was it doing in the painting?
Wasn't it a cat as well?
There was a cat as well, yeah.
I shall remind you,
Thank you.
in the first vision, the lithe figure was running away from a large cat and a ghostly lady. It went to sneak into a tree, but inside the tree, the darkness on the palette formed into a cross between a goat and a bull, as if it had the mass of a bull and the head of a goat. That hybrid creature seemed to infuse the lithe figure with power, causing it to get stronger, bigger, as the figure posed, like a typical hero. But as it did, the grin in the eyes got bigger until they would take up the whole easel, revealing in its eyes people dropping and being hauled up like marionettes.
Okay. Okay. Just go with it for now. Sure.
Yeah.
There is a set of stairs that goes down. Do we come back here until we've cleared all available routes? I mean, that does mean having to go back down to the other place.
Well, there might be clues as to
What's going on?
and whether or not we should go up or down. I guess is the next question.
Is that all the doors in this area done? I think it is, right?
I believe so. I think it's the other direction.
Let's make sure we've cleared the whole floor, I'd say. So Bracken is going to... he'll go back through the kitchen, actually, because he wants to come out by the privy. And he's going to go into the privy. He goes into the privy where the dragon is with the glowing eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Is the dragon like fixed to the table?
It doesn't seem fixed to the table, no.
Bracken's going to try and pick it up.
You pick up the dragon. Once you lift it off the table, its eyes stop turning red and it becomes a solid ornament again.
Okay, Bracken goes to as close as he can to where the toilets are, and he hurls the thing at the toilet.
You hurl the dragon into the privy as it... Nice.
He meant to do it earlier and forgot. So he comes back out. He says, "Well, I didn't think I'd be able to like move the bear rug very far, so
Fair enough.
or the giant lion head. So right, this one now, eh? Yeah, by all means."
You enter in what looks like a wreck. Servants' quarters, beds of the house that would live on site. Broken table, beds and sheets just ripped apart.
Oh,
No.
there's a thing around here. Hello.
Bracken,
Oh.
Hello.
you see a familiar form sat and perched on the side of the bed.
What are you doing here?
Orazio turns to look at you.
Crazy.
He's been taking my toys. He took me, changed me, gave me power unwanted when all I needed was to flee and leave. And now I can't leave. All I can do is keep serving this foul power that's changed my home into a poisonous corruption. Set me free. Bah! And as he tries to utter out a word, all it can utter is the sound of a bah. Until Orazio seems to just turn into ash and blow away on the wind.
This cheap mimicry takes a further step too far. Orazio lies at peace. What was the place called that Orazio is obsessed to get to?
Rosewind Point.
Rosewind Point, and it turned out to be where he ended up getting buried. How poetic.
So, yes, and the other door in there being
Locked. Jester has gone too far.
Oh, I'm gonna just beat him until he's nothing but bits.
Twisting Orazio's memory, almost murdering my brother, mocking the days that I lived here. Mistakes I've made, they're all locked still.
They are all locked still. Well, that makes things easy for us. Up or down?
Oh, that one opens. Wait, hold
Oh,
on. I found an open one.
there's an open one.
It's empty.
You enter into a completely untouched room. No corruption is just broken out in here. This room seems completely untouched.
That's weirder than all of the other rooms combined.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a good place for us to barricade and hold up if we need a desperate rest. But
Can we search the room? I feel like it's
a bit weird.
it should just be one room that's not. Nope. Never mind. Let's go.
Conrad's just no.
28.
Bracken. You have a look around, Bracken, and you find under the sheets on the bed a key.
I have a key. I wonder if this will fit one of the other doors.
You notice as well, with that high enough search check, this room hasn't been opened, at least at this point. There's a lot of dust here. It doesn't seem like anything's really been disturbed, but the cupboards and the drawers are empty.
Oh,
Strange.
the cupboards are bare.
Oh my god.
Oh,
What's happened?
Oh boy.
Conrad, you enter into the guards' room, the connection to the walls to fences and the keep proper. It's where the guards on duty would have had a space to train, maintain their equipment, and relax between shifts. What's left of the room that hasn't had the Feywild rip through it has seen some equipment shattered and the bodies of the guards scattered. What adds to the horror of the scene is what looks like wood nailed to the feet of the guards and weapons fixed to their hands. A few appear to have battens forcing them into positions of conflict.
Playing toy soldiers. Staircase goes up, is it, Mike?
It looks like the staircase leads up. However, you can see, looking up, there's no door at the top. Where you imagine there may be, at this point the wall is completely clean over.
Oh, so it's been like merged, shut.
Yeah.
Gotcha. With Feywild stuff.
As if the door had never existed. It's just brickwork.
Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, God. Maybe another search check in here, just in case. $36. Wow.
7.
Oh. You spot, Bracken, in the centre of the kind of corruption, attached to one of the tentacles, looks exactly like a carbon copy of Conrad's chain.
Conrad, look.
Interesting.
Does it appear to have magical imbuement like Conrad's?
Hard to say. It's in the middle of an anti-magic element of.
Oh, it's right in whereabouts in it. Would you mind pinging where it is?
Right in the centre.
Do you want any new chain? Well, the same chain by the looks of it.
I wonder if we're supposed to
Double chains.
have the double chain. I wonder if this is to do with the stage show we.
Oh no! Yeah.
Can I use that big round table as an island to place on the corruption and then walk over?
Yes.
Don't step on the Feywild.
No,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to not. Yeah, Conrad will wheel the thing over and then chuck it upside down so he doesn't have to climb on it. And then step gently onto it. Well, as gently as a man in full plate armor can step.
Crunch.
It shatters. And try and retrieve the chain.
Give me a reflex save.
Oh.
It's much lower, fortunately.
28.
I mean, that's a brilliant roll. There's no issues in collecting the chain that seems to be so neatly held in the centre of the room. You're able to relieve the tendril of your twin chain, shall we say. And as you take it out, you see it is almost a carbon copy, except it's a few links too short.
A few links too short.
To rob you of the reach.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe tie it onto the end of yours.
Ultra reach.
Yeah.
That would be wieldable, but that's. Do you want to see if that key will unlock this door?
Yes, Bracken hurries to where you indicate and puts the key in the door.
And oh my days, look at that.
Look, it's one of those.
You move into the room and you see a familiar face looking at you.
Gross little.
Tsar, the Rakshasa master who fled liberty and fell to your hands, stands before you. It looks at you. I couldn't find power with the rest of my kind as I was nothing. So I got a pet to bring me amusement. Its creatures made me laugh because it was better than me in every way. I was useless and held it back. But I could still manage one thing. Roll initiative.
Fucking Tsar. He was the worst one.
Was he the fat cat?
Yeah,
Fat
didn't he
cat.
kill
He killed
Horatio.
Horatio, yeah. Shall relish killing him again.
There's a natural 20.
It It lifts a finger as if to cast a familiar spell, one that you remember claimed the life of your former ally. But Bracken, you are quick and first to jump at the scene.
I remember the spell. I believe it was Finger of Death. Bracken is too quick, and... It would be poetry. Bracken is ready before him, and will point a finger at him instead. Because I think this might have been how he killed him before as well. Can the Rakshasa please give me a fortitude saving throw of 26?
He cannot.
He lifts up a hand to do Finger of Death, but Bracken's already ready and points a finger back at him and says, no. And his finger is just pointed at him, and he lands Finger of Death on him. If he fails to save, then that is that.
And with that, very anticlimactically for Tsar, Tsar perishes again. Except you notice that when Tsar does perish, what actually dissipates is the energy of lingering spells and magic, as if the Finger of Death itself dissipated. However, there we go. With his demise, you see another piece of parchment, similar to the one you had earlier, drop from his person onto the floor.
Bracken will cast Mage Hand and pull it to us.
You're able to find in here the magic is working differently. It's as if it was orchestrated to respond differently.
Weird. There is a way forward, but it's amidst that grossness. Is there another door further up?
There is, yeah.
Whilst they go around, Bracken's going to look at the scrap of paper.
It looks very much like the portrait easel parchment you had earlier. And Conrad and Bracken, you find the key works to open this door as well.
More Ah!
Reflex save, Bracken.
I would have seen it. I just had to put my figure in the door to make it appear on the stream.
I know, as you run in.
Just run in.
Try to jump.
Not the sewers! Bracken will show this to Conrad and say, listen, this might show us more on that painting.
More of the story.
Yes.
Doesn't seem to be anything in this room.
Let's go back to that painting.
Yes, let's.
Mike, would you do the honours?
Yeah, let me just put you next to each other, and then Alonzi.
I will lift the back half of the bear and cover its face with its...
with its own arse.
Fold its arse over its eyes. You had the sheet over its head before, and now you fold its arse over its eyes.
Just lift it up like you did with the thing and see if that cuts off. No, it doesn't matter. It's not doing it.
It's fine. Its arse is covering its face. It will not see. And what it does see, it doesn't like. You interact again with the parchment. The canvas.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe I will, yes.
You put the canvas scrap in. Can I get you both to do another will save, please?
Diamond defense. Lucky I did. Yes.
Pooh. Uh... 40.
Again, you
40.
resist any sort of damage as the painting takes shape in your mind, but still upon that easel. In this, that hybrid creature, that bull and goat hybrid, appears and whispers into the ear of the now heroic figure. Its words take the form of a scene of 4 heroes running around a ghostly lady. There is a chain, an arrow, a bite, a spell. The ghost drops, and behind the figures, the bull-like head rises a claw across its throat, with its neck now resembling a broken tree. Can I get a will save off you both again?
Gonna make your roll will saves do fail.
32.
You're okay.
27.
You're okay. As another image, the final image. The powerful figure, this former lithe figure, now giant and fueled with strength, appears to walk into a city. As a house, a room, and each time people dropping next to it. But with each drop, a sword is pushed through the figure. It climbs upon a mountain of bodies full of swords, paint dripping down the canvas like black blood. It tries to remove the sword, but the head of the bull-goat hybrid shakes, pushing another through its chest, whilst plucking bodies away, dropping them into a hole. The figure appears to get stronger, some bodies rising as marionettes, others dropping into different holes, vanishing forever. But with all the swords in it, it no longer resembles its former self. The paint now dripping down the entirety of the portrait until nothing remains but black. It then clears, and you see something roughly scratched in Sylvan. If any of you speak Sylvan...
Nope.
Common, Elvish, Draconic, Goblin, and Abyssal.
No.
That's a no.
Conrad?
I think Conrad only speaks Common and Elven.
And Sylvan.
Yeah.
And Sylvan.
And Sylvan, yes.
Oh, and Sylvan, yeah, sorry, I just remembered I can speak another language.
Unfortunately, you're not able to read the message that appears at the end, but it all fades away. You're both casting a look upon each other. Your faces are both full of paint in the eyes, black paint running down the cheeks, coming out of the ears and down the neck.
You've got some... just a little bit of paint pouring out of your eye.
just a bit.
You've got red on you.
Nah.
Okay, so that was clearly depicting our battle against the Pale Knight. And in her being destroyed, some other great figure rose and broke the tree. I don't know. It's all a bit muddled in my brain. I feel like we have some of the pieces to a bigger puzzle, Conrad.
Yes.
But now our path lies either up or down.
Down wasn't a portal, was it? It was just...
Down looked like it went into a cellar, yeah.
Shall we try that?
Yes, let us head to the cellar.
See if there are any further clues. You've gone.
Yeah, I ran to the cellar. I know I went to the wrong door.
I've gone to the cellar. I've not gone to the cellar.
There, I'm at the cellar.
Oh, you... I was about to do it as well, Conrad, and you beat me to it.
It was more difficult because I couldn't see where the doors were. Just had to guess. Yeah, shall we descend once, Bracken?
Yes.
You descend, and you head down, and as you start walking down, you descend into darkness. Can you both make a will save?
Diamond defense.
36.
37.
Does it count as a critical fail if you use diamond defense?
It doesn't say it doesn't count as a critical fail, so probably.
It's a save, right?
Yeah, it's just adding a number to a save, so it's...
That's... as you move down, Bracken, you realise quite quickly that you are not making any progress. In fact, you look behind you and you've moved 3-4 steps. Conrad, as you head down, you are greeted in your mind with images of your family just in tears, people in Highkeep you'd never seen before wailing. You see in another Minotaurs charging through the streets of Highkeep until one particularly large Minotaur charges at you. This particular one has the head of a goat, and it charges, and then it smiles, and then it grins, and then it makes contact with you, and then you appear as you are flung up the stairs. Bracken, it just seems out of nowhere that Conrad has been knocked in the chest and sent all the way back up the stairs. Conrad?
Yeah.
I need to get the roller for this.
Oh dear.
Oh my god.
Dear. You take 48 points of abyssal damage.
Crikey. Okay. Ouch. I suspect you just hear a oof as Conrad is launched up the stairs.
Conrad, I believe there is some fell power at work here. It does not look like any progress can be made down there. Look. And Bracken will run at the 3 top stairs, and it will be clear now that he can't actually get down past those stairs, even though it looks like he's steadily going down. Then he turns around and then takes the 3 stairs back up really easily.
Yeah, Conrad, for a moment it just looks like Bracken runs on the spot, but quite like ably running on the spot, like an NPC running into a wall.
I was about
It's
to say, like a video game character just like running into a wall.
Yeah.
Great.
Yes,
Well,
that's not good.
that makes things very clear then, Conrad. To the portal! I wonder if, by some chance, there is a power that can merge us through this wall to prevent us from walking all the way around.
I wonder. It's almost as if maybe one, two. Oh God, you've merged.
Splice. That happened only once, okay, and I have apologised. And now, the stairs. Bracken looks among his belongings, realising he has nothing large enough to cover the lion's face, so he just throws a rude hand gesture at it instead.
Well, awfully mean of you.
I mean, putting cameras in the toilets is pretty mean as well, so let's not be judging anyone here right now, eh? What say you, Conrad? I do not know if we'll be able to return here, so are you ready to proceed, or do you need time to do anything? Do you need to rest or heal? There's no knowing what will be beyond.
My concern is that we have come across the weapons used in the duel and the duelists on the stage, but I don't know that we completed that.
No, it feels like we did it wrong. But they're all, like, stopped now, though, haven't they? There's not... We can't...
I assume when we walked back through, they were still in the same position.
Yeah, slumped. There was no puppetry going on. All had been... It was silent and still.
It's just been stopped now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. I should make a note that I took those just in case.
Yeah, good idea. His ceremonial blade and the slightly shorter chain. Though it would be quite poetic if you did kill the Grey Jester with the slightly shorter chain. That would be brilliant.
Alexander's dueling blade, was that the actual thing, or was it a replica?
It's the actual one.
Ooh, what does it do?
It stabs things, Rob.
It stabs things.
Right, gotcha.
It's
Sorry,
a
I was
stabber.
Give him his stabber, quick.
Called it stabber.
For all intents and purposes, a lot of the ceremonial weapons used are all masterwork rapiers. They're all masterwork. They're beautifully made. And this one has been engraved with Alexander's sort of his name. It's got the sigil of the Levaliants. It has, well, the lion just emblazoned at the bottom of it on the pommel. But this doesn't appear to be a strongly magical blade. You can sense that it's potentially... It might have a slight enhancement bonus. It might have had a bit of money invested in it. But compared to the equipment you have, it's nowhere near as potent as what you are using.
Yeah, it's the money's been spent on making it look nicer, not in making it kill better.
Yes. I mean, if you study enough, it's a +1 rapier. So it looks very nice. But aside from the slight edge to it, but better than what most would have. Most certainly better than your dueling sword, comrade. Yours isn't a +1.
No, it's just a standard flippin' rapier. Just looks nice.
Yeah.
Conrad's going to look at the lion head on the wall and say, this is all you trying to upset us. You should know it'll just make it worse for you in the end. If you are watching, just know that. And then he'll turn back to Bracken. Shall we?
Yes. Let's.
You proceed up the stairs, and where you should be stepping foot onto the first floor landing, you find instead you're entering onto the inside of a giant tree. You can see behind you the stairs leading back down into the keep, but around you a vast, colossal trunk that runs up high, and you can see what looks like panellings and planks that have been set up as a rough means of climbing. There is a faint purple glow that radiates in this place.
Not quite what I expected. Shall we begin the climb?
Yes, I believe there's no other choice.
Does it look abyssal, or does it look fey, or like the combination that we've been seeing?
It looks like the combination of. This is you imagine this place shouldn't be looking so ill. I'm trying to avoid something saying would look so innately evil, because that's very much like the hells and the infernal aspects, but this just looks sickly. I'm going to pause you both there. As you reach a little bit higher, there is the sound of a swarm of hundreds of bugs, of flies, scarabs, just circling above you, until you see, forming on the ledge above you, a figure. A noble, humanoid figure. Fey, for certain, but with some human appearance, but most certainly fierce and wild. In one hand, a crackling spear made of thorny branches, and a cloak of nettles and spider webs, a halo of buzzing insects circling them, and 4 banners like standards are strapped to poles on the creature's back, each one seemingly crafted from raw elements. It points its spears down towards you. And that is where I'm going to leave it for tonight.
Ooh.
Intriguing. Well,
so, some high keep.
Some high keep.
it is some high keep.
That is some high keep. So, as always, we're going to go thoughts on the session. I honestly do not remember who I started with last time, but I'm going to start this time with Bracken.
Oh goodness. I've enjoyed the exploration. Obviously, lots going on. I don't know if I've picked up on everything. I kind of feel like it's alluding to things that have happened in the past and what what that means for the future potentially. That's the vibe I'm getting, at the very least. I really liked the lion turning around, and I'm happy that we didn't notice at first. That I'm really glad of. I hope, because I'm reframing wherever we are on the stream as well as what I'm personally looking at. So I'll be interested to go back and watch to see when it moves, and if I actually not caught it is in my vision, but see that it has changed a different direction or whatever when we go by. So I like that very much.
I did check. I was looking at the stream of what you could see, and I was like, I think I've got a moment just there to catch you off guard. But I will be intrigued as well.
Of course, you can use the stream to see what I'm looking at. That's a very good point. Yeah, so that was really fun. I like that, and the fight itself was cool. I mean, listen, obviously wizards always struggle against constructs. That's the point of them. But it's nice. It's nice to be thrown up against something that I can't just wail on with prismatic effects or things like that. And also, I didn't feel too bad about reserving a lot of my spells because, of course, we still have, I imagine, a long way to go.
Yes.
I again, for a second session, don't feel like I've used many of the big boys, which is good. I'm able to keep them back. But yeah, I really enjoyed the fight regardless, and I enjoyed as a viewer, a spectator, shall we say, of Conrad's sheer durability, just standing up against a ethereal golem and just saying, and what? Is that all you get? This is going to sound negative, but I'm going to say it. I feel like Summon Monster 9 was a bit of a wet fart, given that it has such maybe we'll do the Summon. Did I Summon Monster 9 story at one point? I won't spend time explaining it here, but it has got a legendary status in our group. So the fact that I did Summon Monster 9 and then it basically did nothing. And I was looking at the options, and I was like, I need one that does the most physical damage, because there's a lot of them that have quite clever things. Some of them are quite good at controlling. There's a Lionel, which is a lion man, which I was tempted by, but wouldn't really have done much through I imagine, a damage reduction. So I went with the Scorpion because I just thought sheer amount of attacks, does alright damage, has a high attack bonus. Still nothing. so there we are.
It was going up against a truly epic creature.
I know, but I would have. Yeah, that's fair, but still, with Summon Monster 9, you'd think something insane. But there we are. Maybe I'll choose something else. I'll have to look at them because I've not done it for a very long time. So, but yeah, I just love the nods to previous things. I love running into Erasio and Bracken, and the painting's just weird, but I like that as well. And I enjoy myself very much. I like the exploration.
Excellent. And Conrad.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the moments of the past with Zara and Erasio. I enjoyed that you killed Zara in one point, as he did it to Erasio the previous time we met and murdered him.
I think I got him last time with it as well. I think Bracken got him back in that battle with a Finger of Death. I could be wrong.
It was. I'm pretty sure it was one hit kill in the end. What it was?
Yeah, it was a save or die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy the intrigue of the story that we've seen in the painting. I'm desperate to know what's going on there. I feel like it's just beyond us. I feel like we've got almost all the information we need to understand what's happening, but not we're missing one vital aspect of it, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, the bull and the goat.
Maybe it's all gibberish.
Yeah. Yes.
As much as Conrad didn't enjoy reenacting his duel, I think I enjoyed the opportunity to do that. I'm not sure it's quite the right solution to the puzzle, but nevertheless, good fun.
And who knows? I mean, I very much had down with that situation. I was like, okay, I know what some of the outcomes could be, but I have no idea where this will go. So I was intrigued to see how you were responding with it. And yes, it was nice to see how both of you really were kind of handling and working with those bits, and some bits which were unpleasant, and like the bits in the office as well for Conrad, not great, but
yeah, and also the opportunity to let Conrad do what Conrad does best, which is just take truly obscene amounts of damage and just stand there, like Rob was saying, and what?
And what?
450 points from that one monster, and we're still standing by the end of it. And sort of a small army amount of damage.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to what's coming up, because I think you're quite right. You're piecing a lot together, and I think there's opportunities in the next session where I think that picture can become complete, or at least to a point where there's more understanding, and I look forward to seeing what the two of you will do with that information and how you will work with it. And yes. But with that, I think all that's left to say firstly is, again, if you enjoyed what you've been seeing, give us a like and subscribe both on Twitch, and if you're watching after the fact, please on YouTube as well on Performance Check. If you're just joining in to Roll the Bones, we have a whole campaign before Knights of the Apocalypse. Please give that a watch. And again, that's all available on Performance Check. There's a whole it's a whole page dedicated to the Knights of the Apocalypse videos, and there's well over 40 of them. 45, 46?
45 strong, baby.
45.
Just a few hundred hours to
sink your teeth into. So with that, I thank my players, I thank you all, and you can leave you all with what we always do, and that is bone them rolls.
Gotta bone them.
Bone them all the time.
Just bone them.
Just gotta bone them.
Just bone
them.
them, and
Yes.
just don't think about it too much. Just bone them.